But when you measure it flat, it contradicts that.
Hey, what's going on?
I'm spitting flat facts and that. And I know you don't like that. Google Maps is flat, it presents elevation profiles like that. I'm a spitting flat earth king. Sentence has a ring, doing my own thing. If earth was a big roast chicken, factually finger licking chicken. We just got the measurements missing. I'm spitting eggs and begs, begging the question lesson. I've said it before, time after time. I'm the spitting flat earth king of rhyme.
Welcome to Flat Earth Debate, Uncut and After Show. I'm your host, Nathan Oakley, and if you are new to this channel, or you've not done so already, then be sure to subscribe, hit the bell notification icon and join button if you'd like to become a Nathan Oakley 1980 channel member and keep up to date with the Flat Earth Debate. If you would like to support the channel, there is a super chat that runs alongside each of these shows while they premiere. There's also a coffee, Patreon, crypto and thanks button in the info box below the video. Speaking of Patrons, I want to do a quick shout out to all of you who do support me on Patreon. So, a massive shout of thanks and appreciation to Sven P, Curved Fart, Pablo de la Cruz, Smith Tools and Purchase, Level Plain Poem for Tarly Z, Colton James, Survive the Spin, Thomas van der Zander, Measured Flat, Tiers Morgan, Mitch Kennedy, Rod, The Name is Burley, JMails24, Unimento, Iron26, Retro Bill, John Kays, Patrick Gunnels, Troy Shuker, Bob Barber, Mobile Mac 777, Rob W, Del West Watson, Unbelievable Productions, Blue Ridge Ranger, Abraham Mohammed, Skeptic 936, Texas Mike, Chow Young Cat, and Dank. So another massive thank you to all of you for supporting me on Patreon. Links to Patreon, as I say, are below this video. But with that, I will hand across to whoever is in Discord and Google so you can enjoy their dulcet tones while I set up for today's live show.
Okay, let's hear more about this. Let's hear more about this game show, Refracted.
Hold on.
You know, see how clear that was and nice and loud?
Yeah. For some reason, it
that's how it
seems
should
like
be.
I can't be heard.
Turn them down a little bit.
This is just fucking stupid.
Right?
Why
They
can't I be
should
heard
be
in there?
level over there.
I'm
so that
talking and
they're
Neil can
not-
be heard, but
one
I
is louder
can't.
than the other.
What the fuck is
where
going
they're
on?
coming out of.
Speak, Neil.
You know what I mean?
I can hear you,
Yeah,
but they
yeah,
just keep talking.
Yeah, I can't be heard in
It's
my
still
fucking
broke
hangout.
up.
I'm connected
Yeah,
to
they're
the same
breaking
line,
up.
but they can hear you, but not me.
And I hear.
Go ahead.
Makes no sense.
I'm sorry, Steve. I was just gonna say I hear what you're saying on the audio hard, but I guess through the phone there must be some equalization because I don't have any kind of separate volumes for people. Like I just have my two little volume buttons on the side, and everybody's loud and clear.
Yeah, on
Pardon me,
Nathan's.
you all can hear us? Can I get a
You
radio
don't have
check?
individual buttons like
Nathan
levels
Clark.
for everybody on a phone?
No, I mean, I guess if I click user, maybe there's like settings.
Yeah.
For
I don't think
Yeah,
they're getting
Steve
that
knows-
at all.
Steve knows.
Yeah, do that, Flat. Click on individual like you're going to send a message.
okay.
It'll be right.
There's
Yeah.
no reason why my sound shouldn't go through to them. I can see it, and I can see Neil's. They're
It
both
still
doing it on
broke
the
up.
same line.
That's really weird that they're breaking up
They
now.
didn't hear Neil. They're responding to something else.
They didn't hear
I
me.
don't think they
heard
hear
John.
us. I don't think they hear us at all.
Can you hear? We don't hear you at all. Can you hear me?
I
Yeah.
hear you.
Neil, you're through good. Everybody else over there is coming through choppy,
No
as
way.
you can hear.
Isn't that weird? This makes no sense.
But they can't hear us.
I can hear. We can
Sorry.
hear you. The only problem is you're not hearing Nathan.
They can't hear
No,
me.
not hearing Nathan.
Nice. Yeah, we hear you guys. That's weird. How's that happen?
Yeah, Neil.
What's wrong with Nathan's audio?
It seems like Neil's
all
the only.
kinds of gadgets over there.
You're
You know what I mean? So
muted
he's
in
got to have his
Discord.
gadgets right.
All
Are you
because of
locally
you
muted in
thought he
Discord,
didn't sound good.
He's
can't
got
be
to
the case.
straighten his own shit out. Come on now. Supposed to be
I'm just
professional.
gonna have to shut them up because I can't concentrate with them constantly yakking with me trying to concentrate on what the problem is. So yeah, when I talk, my signal doesn't get passed through. Makes absolutely no freaking sense whatsoever.
That's what I'm saying. It's got to be locally muted in Discord then, right?
No, because they wouldn't hear you.
Right. Fudge. Back in. Oh,
My
they can't
mic's-
really hear me. They said,
My mic's definitely going to. Oh, here we go. What's this?
from his group leaves, comes back by himself.
Check. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yeah, there you go.
Check. No, now it's gone. Now they can't hear me anymore.
We did.
So I'm just.
No, they said they did hear you.
And it's still
Yeah.
really low.
What? We
My
didn't talk
God,
loud
all
enough.
that, and you're
I
going to
can't run a
come
live
back
show like
with
this,
the
so I'll have
same
to figure it
shit.
out. I'll pop them back on mute until I figure it out.
See, I think you're only low for freaking harp.
Don't worry about harp.
I'm not. That's what I'm
I can
saying.
see what's
Everybody
going
else
through,
thinks to
Neil.
hear
My
you.
light doesn't flash when I talk. When I talk, I don't flash. When you talk, it does. So there's something.
Oh, okay.
Something's gone wrong. I just don't know what.
I was about to ask you if your mic was on, but I couldn't talk to you if your mic wasn't on. Never mind.
That group let Nathan come in here alone and then have the guys jump in, if that makes
I think
sense.
that's probably a good idea.
Yeah.
Why would
But
it
then
not
I
be
wouldn't be
connected?
able to have the back chat.
What about when you're opening the gate? They can hear me then? It's weird.
He's
It's like,
chopping too. Nathan, you're chopping even.
okay, let's figure out which.
John coming in loud and clear.
Yeah, and Neil both.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what kind of controls he's got. I don't know,
Because I've got
what
two
he's-
different. It seems like Discord's taking
what kind of box,
control in
what
two
kind of
browsers.
amplifier,
I
or
don't know
whatever
why.
he's got over there.
Shut them up again. Yeah, for some reason, I'm being mucked around by having Discord work in two browsers, from going from Edge to Chrome or vice versa. Now it doesn't want to work properly. How fucking wonderful.
Is this a drop and rejoin kind of situation?
No. Won't let me Chrome browser at all now. Fucking hell. Only once.
Hey, Neil, did you? Sorry.
All right, you carry on.
In the chat in Discord, they say they heard Nathan and John come in. So they heard you, Nathan.
Yeah, when John's talking. Just very bizarre going on.
You want me to just leave my line open and hide my phone somewhere so you
No,
can
I'm good, thanks.
talk to? It's ridiculous, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm still not. It doesn't seem like I'm even coming through on this one. So let's check the settings in this one. Aux output. No, it's all correct. Being heard in there. Check. Check. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Check.
I'm guessing we're not on the flip side Discord, are we?
Yeah, we are, yeah. Check. Just doesn't want to work. Let's leave this one. Load the Chrome version.
Good afternoon.
Hello.
We're having technical difficulties, Len.
Check.
We're just getting audio through to Discord or something.
Check, 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 check. Can you guys hear me in Discord now? Can you hear me? Check, 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 check. I need to take them off mute so they can tell me. Can you hear me?
Yep. Can you hear us? Yep.
Yeah, we can. That's never been a problem. Although I did just have you on mute, so technically it is from your point of view, but not from mine. Okay, so you can hear me now, clearly enough.
Yeah,
right?
that's much better.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I'm getting a browser problem where Teams, not Teams.
Still there. We can hear you.
Well, you clearly can't because you're talking through me, so I can only assume that you couldn't hear me because I was in the middle of a sentence and then you started telling me that you could hear me, Steve.
Okay. Yeah, well, you're chopping again, I think, aren't
You're
you?
chopping again, yeah, and you're getting lower.
What the fuck? Check, 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 testing, 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 testing.
Better, but you could still hear a chop.
Check, check, check.
Something's going on. Yeah. Yeah, we hear you again.
Is everybody hearing me choppy?
Well, keep going
That was
again.
good.
Everybody that isn't the people who've already said it. It might just be your lines for all I know. Don't want to mess around with the settings if it's okay for somebody else and not you, because that's your problem. How about you, Cafe? Is it sounding okay for you or not?
Sounding pretty good. Slight chopping, not as bad as before. Getting better.
Okay. What about if I turn my mic level up in Discord? Is that better? Am I clearer now? Louder?
Yeah.
Sounding good.
Yeah.
Am I getting louder?
Yeah, a little bit.
A little bit, yeah.
About now, am I
Maybe a
even
little
louder?
louder.
I'm a bit louder now.
Can you turn it up
sound
even
good.
more?
Yeah, maybe a little more.
I'm incrementally turning up the volume. Please just answer the questions that I'm asking. Yep. Am I now louder than about 12 seconds ago?
Yeah.
No.
Yes.
No.
Am I louder now?
The same as 12 seconds ago.
So I'm not getting any louder despite me turning up the volume button?
No, you're not getting louder.
Okay. Let's try input sensitivity then. What about now? Am I louder now? Am I louder now?
Nathan, the chopping came back and we can't hear you now.
What about now? Is that any better?
Yes, you're back.
How about clarity? Is that any better?
Clarity's better.
Sounds crystal
clear. Volume is not.
So this volume button, if I turn it down to 12%, it makes no difference. You can still hear me exactly the same. Correct?
Coming through my phone app, your volume sounds good. Coming through Harp's computer, it's sounding low.
You and John are louder than you, and they're coming out of
Don't worry about anybody other than me, right? Don't worry about how loud they are. Just, can you hear me or not? That's it.
Yes. Yep.
Can you hear me? Am I clear? If I turn the volume up, I've gone from 12% now to 80%. And if you're saying that makes absolutely no difference, then I question the validity of all the controls in Discord. Because to go from 12% to 80% with you telling me, no, it doesn't sound any different, then this scroll bar with the words microphone volume on it does not control microphone volume, which is frustrating. When I turn input sensitivity up, you guys go, oh, you've disappeared completely now. I see. So higher input sensitivity means disappearing audio altogether. So what that means is the Discord controls mean absolutely fucking nothing. They don't do what they say they'll do. You with me?
I think you might be right. Yeah, I didn't realize that you were even using those controls. I thought you were using like and you're going past those controls.
All I'm doing is adjusting volume for you. Jesus wept. I wish I'd just ignored you.
Keep it the way you got it. I mean, if you can't do anything, can't do anything.
Well, it looks like I can't do anything because I'm adjusting. There's 3 sliders. One says microphone volume, and it's the output to you. That's voice meter aux output, which is the line that comes from my desk to Discord. That's the slider in Discord labelled the line that goes to you. the output from my desk to the input that you're hearing. That's what I would assume would turn up the sound for you. So when I turn it now from 84% to now 100%, I would assume that that's made absolutely no difference to my volume, right? You're not hearing me any different.
You have to go in user settings. You have to go in user settings.
It's not what I'm asking. I don't need a lesson in where to find the set. I don't get why Harp's answering a question. For the love of fuck, I'm really late already. I'm only in this mess because I listened to you in the first place. And now you're answering questions I haven't asked. I didn't ask you to tell me where user settings are. Right? I just need to know if I'm getting louder. I'm getting more and more frustrated. It's now 10 minutes over.
We hear you loud and clear, man. That's his problem. Just go on. Don't touch.
No, it's not my problem.
All your fault. Nothing's ever my fault. Look, you do not know the rules here. Okay, look, it seems like you can hear me, though. We're having a reasonably decent conversation, which means you can hear me.
Tell them other guys to turn their shit down then. How's that?
I don't care. I just want you to confirm that we're having a half-decent conversation. You can actually hear me now.
Yes, I can hear you now.
Fine. Okay, so if I talk a little bit quieter, can you still hear me?
Yes.
What about if I turn my level down to where is reasonable for my output? Can you still hear me clearly now?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank Jesus. Okay, Neil, can you now talk? And then I'll adjust you so that the output for yourself is a little bit quieter for Discord. The sensitive little snowflake ears are finding you a little loud.
This is not very professional.
See how fucking loud he is?
That's okay. I'm turning him down. So how about now? Can you say something again, Neil?
This is not very professional right now, what's going on.
That's better.
That worked.
No, you're right. It should be done before the recording starts.
Yeah.
And I should remain at the volume I am.
Now, let me explain something to you. I was talking very low right now.
How do I sound?
Okay, we're all good. Everybody can hear everybody. Everybody can talk through everybody like they previously could. Everybody's happy. We can finally start the freaking live show.
Yep.
That may be the reason why a lot of times we're talking and Discord just talks right through you.
No,
Yeah.
I don't think so.
No, I don't think so.
You might need to be a little closer to your mic. It might help.
No, there's sometimes when Nathan's talking and then all of a sudden just somebody in Discord will just start talking, so you might not be picking them up.
No, that's bullshit.
Clearly.
No.
Yeah, that's bull. Yeah, exactly.
Like right now.
So you're saying they're just rude bastards.
This is all a desktop computer issue because coming through the iPhone app, you guys all sound a very stable static volume. No,
That's
all
correct.
good.
Can't beat the phone.
Anyway, it's all fine now. Everybody can hear everybody. Let's start the live stream.
But when you measure it flat, it contradicts that. I'm spitting flat facts and that. And I know you don't like that. Google Maps is flat, it presents elevation profiles like that. I'm a spitting flat earth king. Sentence has a ring, doing my own thing. If Earth was a big roast chicken, factually finger licking chicken. We just got the measurements missing. I'm spitting eggs and begs, begging the question lesson. I've said it before, time after time. I'm the spitting flat Earth king of rhyme.
Welcome to Flat Earth Debate Live. I'm your host, Nathan Oakley, and if you are new to this channel, or you've not done so already, how dare you? Then be sure to subscribe. Hit the bell notification icon and join button if you'd like to become a Nathan Oakley 1980 channel member and keep up to date with the Flat Earth debate. If you would like to support the channel, there is a super chat that runs alongside each of these shows while they are live, and there's also a coffee, Patreon, crypto and thanks button in the info box below the video. Most importantly, if you'd like to join the discussion, simply mute the page you are currently watching, then click the link in the info box below this video to join the panel and express your views on the nature of Earth. If you do join, please don't swear. If you do, you'll be ejected, and if you are, please don't try to rejoin the stream using sock accounts. You'll be warmly welcomed back on the next stream. Please also share the show on social media. Sharing the show obviously increases the live audience, but this in turn increases the chances of a more diverse panel, so please share the show on Facebook and X. Now we are joined by Surf Daddy, Click OK, Neil, Refracted Curvature, One Deck, Len, and a whole bunch of people in the Flipside Discord server. So, welcome one and all.
About freaking time.
They were 10 minutes late. I was editing a video, so I've spent all morning, I've completely lost track of time doing it, sanitising another section from the 8-hour debate stint that I did in Worldwide Debates a couple of weeks ago. And I was just editing out all the swearing, and then it got to about 20 to 1, maybe 20 minutes later than I would normally set up. I set up, and in spite of being the one interrupting a discussion in Discord, because there was already several people there having a chat, we had, who was it? Harp moaning that I was interrupting him and then simultaneously saying I was choppy. So I started to resolve a Discord issue, ended up having to restart the entire computer, therefore the recording, and do all the shout outs to all the patrons. Please join me on Patreon. Obviously, I've said it already in the pre-show and on this recording, but not in the live stream. So yeah, I did the intro. Anyway, so I'm slightly befuddled because I'm just late. So that's why we're 10 minutes late, in case anybody was wondering why the live stream's a little bit late. But here we are, we're here now. And that's even been compounded by the fact that I did want to actually upload that video, having spent all morning editing it, so we could react to it. That is to say, listen to Omnivore and his area of equal angle be put out to a public audience, albeit with commentary over the top of it. So that's what we'll be covering today. A section that's about 4 hours into an 8-hour visit to Worldwide Debates. And it's with specifically Omnivore, along with about half a dozen other white knight cucks that are coming to his honour when he gets pinned down, and not use a graphic rude metaphor. You'll get the general gist when you listen to it, but he gets a proper pasting, let's just say. And the pasting is based on if you want the conclusion, that's the too long didn't read version. He's using an area of equal elevation and deriving radial value by saying his zenith angle's what's affording him the angle to equate or to calculate the distance which he can suggest is curving, when in reality the radial value for a circle of equal elevation's a radius and therefore cannot bend. So we'll go through that in a minute. We haven't actually had any warm-up discussion beyond technical issue discussions, which isn't very entertaining. If you just come from the after show, you're probably rolling your eyes. At least we're into the live show, and there'll actually be some content now. Anyway, did anybody have anything that we were discussing while I've so rudely barged in with my technical issues? Hopefully we've got 5 minutes of discussion so I can eat the sandwich my wife just dropped off.
Game show.
Yeah, I did have something. It's a game show where you invite ballers on, right? And you read off globe proofs to them, and they have to point out where you were using a plane of reference and how many times. And, you could reward them each time that they are able to point out.
Now, what makes you think they'll cooperate? Go ahead, Sir Daddy.
No, I was going to say it's going to be a hard task for the writers of this game show to come up with actual globe proofs, though. So,
well, go to like Eratosthenes, right? Read out, read to them the story of Eratosthenes that they accept as a globe proof, right? Read that out to them, and they have to pick out where the plane of reference is being used and how many times it's being used. And, give them like $5 for the first time they get it right, and then incrementally increase the amount and see if they can do it.
Why do we get like a prize, like a prize for the actual overall winner of maybe a flat globe? You could take it over and hang it on the wall.
You could call it flattening the curve. It'd be the game show's name.
I think the beer flu thing took that and trademarked it. flatten the curve was one of the first things I heard in 2019.
The problem they have no problem describing the plane reference that they're using, but then, while they're chatting away, but then if they have to pause and then point out where that was mentioned, I think that's where they'll have difficulty.
Yeah, that's what I said in the game show, where they hear the proof and then they have to point it out themselves. That's why I said it'd be like a cognitive minefield for them.
We can always put their head through one of them circus things, and if they don't get it right, we just throw things at them, like eggs and flour, stuff like that.
One day you have too much vitriol.
Speaking of minefields, we could actually have them detail their globe proof, and every time they step on a flat plane, then they metaphorically get blown up. All right, I'm going to tell you exactly how we know the radius of the Earth, okay? So there's this guy, and he's put sticks in the ground, and he noticed something. He observed the sun didn't make a shadow on one place. And then he went to another place that was 500 miles away, and then boom! Next contestant, please.
500 miles. Dang. How would you say distance without saying distance, really?
It wouldn't be a very long game. The problem is, even if you made it into the most horrific of examples, so on yesterday's show, I put my sandwich down, I've eaten half of it. Like on yesterday's show, we were going through the hypothetical example where you've got to actually use celestial navigation. Like most of the time you're on your boat, you're using your GPS, everything's fine. Suddenly you get stranded in a lifeboat and somebody's got to figure out how to get where you're going with the bare bones materials that you've got for navigating. That is to say, you haven't got any advanced technology in the form of GPS receivers. You've just got your sextant, your map, your chronometer, and you've got your almanac. You're going to have to do it manually. Now, with that in tow, it's put to a baller who's trying to strawman this, not argument, but fact of navigation with how do you get the altitude? And the suggestion is put back that if you were doing this in the boat, I'd strangle you and throw you over the edge. That is to say, the threat of being murdered at the consequence of them burning this straw man had absolutely no effect on them. So by contrast, I would say that if it was put into a Squid Game scenario, so they're crawling along glass shelves, and underneath them are little detonators, and they get to crawl one square forward if they answer a question without using a flat earth prerequisite in their answer. So if they manage to describe acquisition of curve and then stop talking, people go, oh, well, he's got halfway through a sentence and he hasn't mentioned a flat plane. You can go one square forward. They go, okay, well, what are you going to do to acquire this curve? Well, I'm going to get a tangential plane. And they just fall through the floor. The problem with that game show is that no one would get past the first square. They'd get to the first square and everybody would fall into the pit of spikes.
Well, that's why I said do it the other way and reward them for finding the flat plane.
I see. So in your version, we've got... Let's keep it in the same theoretical scenario just so people can relate to it on the same level. So you've got the same glass bridge that they've got to crawl across, but they're going to remove random glasses unless they can actually describe accurately how to acquire their globe proof. And in so doing, one of the detonators gets removed every time that they utilize a flat plane. So they crawl one step forward and say, well, I'm going to describe a tangential plane. And they go, oh, okay, fair enough. You've described how the flat earth prerequisite and begging the question sphere is going to be incorporated into your fantasy. We'll take away one of the detonators.
You all are way too interested in killing these guys. I just want them to, recognize the plane that they're using, and reward them for
It's not that. I mean,
good
it's
job.
just
Y'all
Squid Game.
Punish them for being wrong.
There's a movie with the guy out of the Matrix that betrays everybody. I can't remember his name. Cypher is the character. I can't remember the character actor's name. But he's in a movie with these two lesbians called Bound. And one of the lesbians is married to a gangster. And he wants to find out from this guy where they've laundered this money, right? Or how he skimmed this money off the top. And he gets him, and he's got his hands tied behind his back. And he gets a pair of clippers, or secateurs, I think you call them, what you trim or prune a bush with. And he puts it on his little finger and goes, "Where did you hide the money?" And slices off one of his fingers. You go, "Well, let's do that with ballers." Make me believe you're on a ball, and the minute you use a flat earth prerequisite, I'm going to slice one of your fingers off with these secateurs like in Bound.
We'll never get that past censorship.
Is that Joe Pantaleo or something?
Yes, that's
Italian
the one.
guy?
Yeah, you got it. Italian guy. The guy who plays Cypher in Matrix.
He also played a pimp in freaking Risky Business, remember? With Tom Cruise. He was the girl's freaking pimp. Rebecca De Mornay.
You all have taken what was a good idea that could be fun and made it into a brutal game show.
I like your idea, John. I think it should be developed.
Yeah, I think there's scope there for something. Yeah, for the future, we could do this. This can be done. Do a game
I
show.
think we should set it up like Family Feud.
What's that?
That's what you should do. Set it up like a Family Feud game. Top 10 answers are on the board. How many times the ballers use a flat plane of reference? Every time.
And the baller said, ding.
Dun, 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 dun.
Just because it's flat doesn't mean it's flat.
I mean, the globe calculator with.
No, what I heard
They wouldn't
yesterday
get
when Nathan was playing the show was the guy saying linear miles are not straight. I mean, are curved. They're not straight. Right, huh?
Yeah, it's straight, but in a curved way.
Like say, even if the show the picture we show on the show with the line of sight parallel to surface level in their math. I mean, that's checkmate.
Refracted, did you just do the frog from Felix the Cat? The frog, okay?
I was wondering where I got that from. Thank you, Neil.
Yeah, Felix the Cat and Minute Mouse. What are we going to do now, Courageous? I know. I will get my anti-Glover gun.
But I would like to, help them a little bit with their cognition. Maybe let them make some money if they're get good enough at it,
I don't pretend like I'm completely devoid of empathy, but the more time elapses, the less I give a crap about them. Like when you say, I'm trying to help them with their cognition, I want them to recognise the flat earth that's measured. I think if I'm facing up to the fact that I have no consequence over it, why would I want to convince some bull-believing wanker who would rather have me have my kids taken off me, or me be arrested, or me not have a YouTube income, or me be under constant threat of copyright strike? That's the type of person that you're saying you want to help with their cognition. Me, I just think I don't care about you.
No, I don't want to help them with their cognition. Then I want to have a game show, Nathan. I want to make.
You're just thinking about the game show. Gotcha.
Survivor. put Globers on an island with a sextant and a
Globe
map.
Island.
Glober Island. Can they get off the island? Will they survive? We give them a dinghy, a sextant, a map, and a nautical almanac. Will they survive?
Team 1 died immediately on the first day as 3 fart-sniffing dweebs argued about the altitude of the height of the star when they should have been measuring ground positions.
Absolutely. They tried to they tried to level their shelter, but they couldn't figure it out. There was too much curve in the way.
The final 2 will be like, come on now, we're just going to have to use the horizontal plane. There's no way out of this.
No, don't do that because they'll think that the Earth is flat, and we know the Earth isn't flat. Level means curved and perpendicular to gravity. Let's figure this out, lads, before we're kicked off the island or die.
On a serious note, when they claim perpendicularity to gravity, right, that's a way, I like this word, a subterfuge for the reality that they're still using a downward vector, right? Saying perpendicular to gravity immediately conjures an image of a ball with a downward with respect to the centre of Earth as a sphere. But there is no, number one, perpendicular to a curved anything. That's not what perpendicular means. So when they say perpendicular to gravity, look at what perpendicular actually means, and then know that gravity in this instance to be perpendicular would be at 90 degrees to a flat plane. So introducing this bit of subterfuge is just a way of conjuring a magic trick that this must be related to a ball because the word gravity is being employed.
Well, gravity is only applicable to an inertial plane.
Exactly.
So saith Newton.
Exactly. If anybody ever thought that gravity somehow had any connection to anything beyond Cartesian three-dimensional space for time to be a convention derived from it, or a Newtonian Cartesian plane perpendicular with a downward vector, then you're an idiot. You just don't understand what gravity is. It is always with respect to horizontality and planar descriptions. There aren't any exceptions. It doesn't matter how many dimensions you add either. You still need a Cartesian system to describe gravitational fields, bending space-time, geodesics. It's all with respect to a plane. Now, you don't have to like this. All they're doing is adding in convoluted layers to distract from the flat plane this all ties back to in every single circumstance. There's never an exception.
Well, most people that use that, I find, are using it in the sense that they're thinking in their heads that gravity is pointing to the center, to a point in the center of the Earth, of the round ball. And they, to try to explain to them that what they're trying to describe when they use the word perpendicular is it's 90 degrees to a plane. That's the equatorial plane in the center of the ball.
Exactly.
And yeah, but that's beyond their scope. When they just heard and think, oh no, perpendicular to gravity, they're thinking in their heads center of the sphere, which is, I guess, kind of true because their calculations use the radius, which is a straight line to the center of a circle. Anyhow, and that gets into fart sniffing when you have to explain, how they're all getting that.
Right. Should we cover this video?
Begging the question of a sphere, though.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Wondek. I thought we were done with this. Go ahead.
No, just saying begging the question of a sphere. If you're asking for any measurements of that sphere, they are going to be using a planar reference to or calculate that sphere mathematically. Done.
Shout out to your friend Pablo, who says, black shirt is greater than white shirt. Oh, well, thank you very much.
Yeah, Nathan, what video you got there? Is that the one you edited?
Yeah, so this is why we were late today, because of this area of equal angle discussion with Omnivore, which has been moderately sanitized, so this can go out as a live stream without me too concerned about the sweary language. You'll generally get the gist regardless. Feel free to interrupt from Discord or on G+ at any point if you want to make a comment. bend, we measure Earth flat.
Really cool. I have a really cool cock-shaped microphone, and I'll send it to you if you answer the question, Nathan.
Right, you want to tell me about a cock-shaped microphone now when I point out the radii don't bend, when you suggested that a ground distance was bending?
The angle measured with a sextant does not have a
waited until he was. Elderberry, you could have at least waited till he was done.
Position of the star in celestial navigation. So here's
We're
the star.
not doing trigonometry. Pay attention. Celestial navigation and trigonometry, two different things.
Measures the Earth flat when it's not an elevation angle.
All right. Well, if you're standing here at the particularly right time of night, at the day of the year, this is where you're standing, and you will see, if you look directly straight up, you will see the star right over your head. So this is the ground position of the star. Over here is the boat.
No, you can't do that, Omnivore. You can't go straight up off a sphere. Doesn't make sense. Up needs a plane of reference.
Yeah, as I've diagrammatically exampled, the misrepresentation from Omnivore is now accurately depicted on screen with you inside a sphere. If you're measuring angles with respect to anything, it's with respect to a plane, but that needs you to acquire a system with azimuth and altitude in a Cartesian manner for you to describe up. So where he's misrepresented the reality of measuring angles off a plane, I've diagrammatically exampled it with exactly that.
Right. So this is, in this case, we are in a boat. It's a nice sturdy boat, you can see. And I've got my vertical here because I'm not taking an elevation angle to the star. What I really want is my zenith angle to the star, which is this angle here. So I'm taking this angle.
So what he's saying is I'm taking this angle from my zenith to the star. Okay.
And this
to have a zenith, though, to have the zenith, you need the horizontal. You don't get the zenith is a measure of a 90-degree elevation angle.
That's correct. As I've diagrammatically exampled on screen, I'm exempling what he's detailing on screen.
Here, and you can see that this is curved. Now,
what? No.
You can disagree, whether or not that distance is really curved.
Yeah, we're going to definitely get to that, Omni. We're definitely going to be disagreeing about that, and you're going to get held down, pinned down, and violated as a consequence of your nonsense waffle that doesn't make any sense.
But the celestial navigation model that we all use and understand.
No, distances aren't curved. Distances, when we reference maps, are horizontal and linear. Distances are not curved.
So that's a claim, but
No, it's not a claim. If we're using the distance that we've minus from 90 and times by 60 to acquire, we are acquiring a radius. Do you think radii bend? Let's just ask you if you can shut up long enough to hear the... Just for the audience's benefit, right? We're about 1 minute 50 into this video. It's a 14-minute video. At no point whatsoever does Omni concede this error. We're deriving radial values for areas of equal elevation, circles of equal altitude. Radii are what we are calculating for. That's why we're measuring the angle that he suggests we take from zenith. That's 90 degrees to a plane. And then suggests that the distance is bent. That's what he's just claimed. He's made a claim. I've said distances don't bend. Now, that's an axiomatic principle used for navigation, mapping, surveying, flying, charting. That's a fact. He's told me it's my claim, because that's the game here. Make an axiomatic fact of flat Earth measurement into Nathan Oakley's claim, when he's claiming radii bend with a bent distance along the surface. Now, he's wrong, but it is now going to take in excess of 12 minutes of edited material for him to even come close to an acceptance of the incorrect assertion that is made as a bull-believing wanker liar who's bullshitting, because he's immediately bullshitted, as John pointed out. He's convoluting the reality of having zenith 90 degrees to a plane when he suggests that the point from your position when you only acquire the angle with your zenith 90 degrees to a plane and the star's angle from the zenith, that doesn't involve the ground. Therefore, he can bend the distance along the ground after a converted model is applied that he's not mentioning. Now he gets absolutely destroyed for the next 10 straight minutes, but does not concede. Yeah? These globe cuck cowards have no humility. In this case, towards the end, Omni likes to suggest that I don't understand. His incongruence with reality and axioms that he's just violated. I've challenged him, and I'll reiterate, it now takes more than 10 minutes of edited material for him to not concede his error. And an error it absolutely is, as you will now hear. Question. We're measuring for a radius. Do you think radii bend? You think stuttery... Do radii bend?
So sorry, the radius of what?
Area of equal elevation. Do you need the White Knight to defend you there, Omnivore? You've just said that we're measuring a bent line. No, we're deriving radius values for circles.
Circle of equal elevation?
Oh, can someone shut... Just point this out. We heard Omni, unimpeded, make his utter shite nonsense assertion with a bent radii. We all heard him. Nobody interrupted him. I didn't interrupt him. Now I'm addressing him, asking him a question about whether or not the distance he's bent, that's a radius distance, bends. And we've got another guy who, in a previous section trimmed out that was covered yesterday, was suggesting that I mute them from the audience so they can't be heard. What he's now doing is jumping in on top of me asking the devastating question, do radii bend, to the person who's suggesting exactly that. We've got a different cuck coward come to his defence. We call it white knighting. That's Omnivore needing to be defended by another lying cuck. I had to bear up because it seems like Omni's not being tolerated to be right. Sorry, we're deriving a radial value, aren't we, Omni?
Look at that radius. Look at that beautiful radius.
Sorry, do radii bend? You
Nathan, oh no.
No, they don't, you dimwit. Radii don't bend, you stupid cuck. Hello? Omni, radii don't bend, spastic.
I've got the radius right here.
Yeah, it doesn't bend. Radii don't bend. They're straight.
This is how celestial navigation is.
No, radii don't bend.
The radius in your circle of equal elevation.
Yeah, that's right. It's straight. Radii don't bend. They're straight.
Your zenith angle.
Sorry, we're going to talk about zenith angles, or we're going to talk about what we derive, which is areas of equal elevation, by calculating radii, by measuring the flat Earth angle. Radii don't bend, Omni.
What's the distance of the radius?
Right, oh, you need this cuck to fight for you, do you, Omni? You need this piss-flap little bitch to defend you. Radii don't bend, Omni. I stutter. Yeah, you stutter for me, Omni, you little No, you said the radii were equivalent to some bendy land measurement? No.
Nathan.
Stuttery spastic Omni. Radii don't bend, you dimwit.
Nathan.
Say my name, you stuttery. Radii don't bend.
You've been in this for a long time, and
yeah, and radii don't bend. No amount of time will comport with your suggestion that... Just weave this into this as we're responding to it and reacting to it. The distance measurement that's acquired along the surface for an area of equal elevation is a flat Earth-only measurement, derived in this instance with a radial value for a circle being a two-dimensional area of equal elevation, otherwise known as a circle of equal altitude. Earth is measured flat for this distance value, acquired to do celestial navigation. What Omni's trying to do is bend that distance. Now, as a complete cuck, coward, he's got a load of other men having to defend his honour, rather than concede his error, that radii unequivocally do not bend, and they are giving us an Earth surface distance. It is flat. Earth is measured flat. Here is a very specific, useful for navigation, measurement of a distance in miles, acquired with a measurement from a surface level angle. Now, what Omnivore needs to do is lie. That's what globe believers do. People like Omni, he's a liar, a scumbag, a coward, who when he's challenged on his lie, will not concede his error, will not concede his deceit, will not concede that a distance ascribed to a radius cannot bend. But what he can do is wait for a load of other men to come and save him. Now, I would call that a cuckold, where other men do the dirty work for him. Yeah, you're like some pathetic husband watching another man nail his wife. That's what you are, Omni, as this happens and as all the other men come in and do the little dirty work for you because you can't cope. Yeah, you little limp dick prick. That's what you are. Now, in case anybody's going, how dare you take this to a sexual description where he's a cuckold for his wife getting nailed by another man? Oh, well, this man has already suggested that I need cock-shaped microphones, so I don't feel in the slightest bit ashamed of taking this to the reality that other men are doing it for him. That's the facts here. So it's a perfectly legit analogy. He's a cuck. Omnivore is a cuck.
Wait a second. Are you saying Omnivore's ranty?
He's a cuck, is what he is. The distance is bendy. No, we're measuring for a radius, you found.
There's no distance of a flat Earth.
Sorry, distance in this. He's saying there is no distance on a flat Earth. Yeah, there absolutely unequivocally is. He's a liar, a scumbag. Now, if it was the mob in this scenario while he lied to them, they'd be chopping off his fingers. That's what would be happening here. Yeah? You'd have your thumb removed, Omni. Yeah? You're going to lie to me about there being no flat distance when we're deriving radial values for circles of equal elevation. It's a well-documented process called celestial navigation that uses linear distances. Yeah, that's just facts that you're now lying through me while I hold you to task for your cuckold, scumbag compadres defending you as they try and stop, that's mute, the devastating facts that we've got flat radii from being heard. Yeah? You're all cucks. That's what you all do. You all have a little salivating session over other men getting nailed. That's what's happening here. Cucks. This example, minus from 90 times by 60, gives us a radius, though, doesn't it?
But he doesn't.
Radius.
This is a chord. This underneath, this is...
This is them going, la, 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 if I don't have to hear you saying that it's flat radii, then I don't have to respond to it. That's what's happening. Bearing in mind that this is in a neutral platform where I've got no control over this that's happening now. I can't just shut him up. You're going to yak through me? Is this what you've got when I point out how you are about your bendy radii, you dimwit?
And that's the ground position over here. So you
could... ground position's measured with a radius value, though, isn't it?
Imagine Nathan would try that.
Sorry, you need a radius.
It's not going to work for it.
Sorry, we need a radius, though, don't we?
We do. The radius.
Yeah, radii don't bend, you stupid spastic. You just suggested that there's distance that's radius to a circle somehow has a bend to it, and I'm calling you a fuck for it. I'm going to rub that right in. Yeah, that's Omni having his head forced into a pillow. That's what's happening to Omnivore right now. Because he's described a radial value that's a ground distance that's bent along a spherical surface that's also derived from a flat radial value. I might add 3959. That's straight linear distance in miles, because that's what miles are. That's why we use them to describe things like radii and distance, linear and flat. But this man needs to bend distance. Nah, we need radii. That's the distance ascribed in this particular process that Omnivore's lied about and is now having his fingers chopped off for. That's what's happening.
Well, I know you're...
I know that you're a stutterer who thinks that radii bend.
So,
hey, please stop swearing.
How do my fucking balls taste, Omnivore, you stupid spastic with a bent radii?
He's trickling puff.
How do my fucking balls taste, Omni?
Hey, you're turning the Omnivore into a carnivore because he's eating you up.
Meanwhile, so now we've got another one. That's two cucks defending this man's honour. Apparently, I'm the one getting eaten by Omni as his head's suffocating him in the pillow and his fingers are getting chopped off. Yeah? I'm being told that Omni's eating me by a man who used the false direction fallacy. These people are literally delusional. He's having his head kicked in. And while that's happening, he's on the sidelines. This is a different man and a different cuck, saying, he's beating it. No, he's having his head stamped on. But in your delusional mind, he's winning. Why? Because he's talking through every word that demolishes his point? That makes him win, does it? Yeah, in your minds, that's how you win. If you mute the losing point, your losing point being corrected by me, in your mind, it's a win. That's what you've got. Yeah, we're breaking down the tactics of ballers when they face me. I can go la, 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 la. And if the last thing we hear is somebody say, you're wrong, from the ball side, then you lost. You're getting destroyed by Omni. So says Rob Noxious. No, he's getting the ever-living shit kicked out of him. Rob Noxious, you delusional twat who thinks he's got 13 million views on TikTok. Now, you're just lying. Yeah, lying to yourself that this is actually not the devastating man having his head forced into a pillow while fingers get chopped off as he lies about flat radii. Yeah, we need a radii, says Omni. Yeah, at which point I yell at him. Yeah, that's a flat distance then, isn't it? He said it bent. Now, he's never going to concede to it. He's a complete cuck coward. That's what Omnivore is he gets absolutely annihilated. Radii don't fucking bend like this dimwit called Omni just suggested they do. Damn, I thought I edited out all the swearing. Sorry. And I'm calling him for it. No, Omni, you stupid, mathematically illiterate spastic. Radii definitely don't bend, you...
Is how celestial navigation is said to work.
With radii derived from minusing from 90 and timesing by 60, the flat Earth elevation angle you measure, so you can derive a radius to the GP of the star. That radius is flat. It cannot bend. It's a radius. Hello? Omni, you dumb... Do you think radii bend, spastic? No, they don't, do they, Omni, you clown? You're a mathematically illiterate spastic, Omni. You just suggested that the ground distance was bendy. No, we're acquiring a radius. And this fucking retard thinks radii bend. What a moron. Omni's just
What's
a
the radius of
spastic.
a flat Earth?
Sorry, do we need radius bending Omni to be defended by this other who thinks that north is the bottom?
I think you scared him, bro.
Sorry, I think radii are straight flat Earth measurements.
So you can see the
That's
circle.
cool.
So we could... It's not that I think that. I know that for an absolute fact. When you derive a radius for a circle and it's got a distance value in miles ascribed to it, it is a flat Earth measurement. That's why this is happening. These people can't cope. You can see a circle? Yeah, that's got a flat radii. You said it bent, you king clown. And I called you a dumb for it, Omni. You stupid, mathematically illiterate dimwit.
Am I showing you the circle?
Sorry, circles have got flat radii. That's what we're calculating for, though, isn't it?
Am I showing you?
Am I stuttering like it's being ripped by me? Yeah, you are, you dimwit. No, radii don't bend, you stupid spastic Omni. That's why you're being held down and fucking destroyed by me.
Nathan.
Are you going to mutter through me? Radii don't bend,
I don't
spastic.
think you quite understand what we're talking about here.
So we've got cuck number 3. Limp dick Omni can't cope. So we've now got 3 men doing it for him. Yeah, what a cuck. You need 3 men defending you, do you, Omni? Wow, how many more people are going to be watching you not do the business? Yeah? Cuckold. That's what you are, Omni. Make no mistake. You can't cope with a simple admission that radii don't bend. No, you can't. So you need 3 men to fuck for you. Don't you, Omni? Pathetic.
Yeah.
I understand what a radii is. It don't bend.
A picture book, okay? I'll get you some credit.
Yeah, well, if you draw a circle on a ball...
Sorry, now I'm being told by this cuck that's got 3 men doing it for him that he can get me a colouring book. Sounds like an ad-hom much. I don't need a colouring book, do I, Omni? No, but you do need 3 men to fuck for you. That's what's happening here. Make no mistake. Radii, the bent distance you suggested at the beginning of this little back and forth with 4 men versus me. Oh, what's that? Nathan's got a mute button. No, I don't have a mute button. What I've got is 4 cucks. That's what I've got. That's what I'm dealing with. As I tell them that radii don't bend. Now, no one's conceding to this flat Earth measurement fact with linear distance in miles for a circle of equal elevation. Nobody's conceding it. Because they can't cope. With what? Me. That's what. So just for clarity, Omni, having been raped, now has another man trying to defend him. Pull me off.
Would that line be bendy?
So why are you talking to me?
Ooh,
Omni!
I'm showing it right now.
Omni, you dumb...
talking about?
No, I'm talking to Omni.
Yeah,
I'm talking to Omni about radius. It seems that you need to white knight for him.
You don't seem to understand.
Do you not like it? Does the blood scare you? Does the blood scare you? See, need a load of men to come in and say, I don't understand what our straight radii are when we derive them for distance. Now, I definitely understand how flat Earth is, but they can't cope. So they immediately project that which they cannot cope with onto me. You just don't understand what our bent radii are. That's the assertion. That isn't being defended by the man who made it. That's Omni. He's got 3 other men to fuck for him. Limp dick mofo. Hey, you, my gentlemanly friend. I'm destroying Omni with his curved radii quit assertion.
And then he slank away in shame, realizing...
You're destroying yourself. You sound very angry.
What about radii? It's flat. Flat. Yes, that's correct, you dimwit.
Tried to talk to you, Nathan.
Yeah, you're trying to describe our radii bends. You suggested that the ground that was being measured to derive a radial for a value of a circle is bent, and I called you tard for it.
So let me
stutter! Yeah, you dim-witted stuttery. Radii don't bend, Omni, you stupid spastic. Radii don't bend, you dimwit.
Just so
radii
clear,
is defined as a straight line drawn from the center of a circle to its perimeter, meaning it cannot bend.
No, it can't bend.
Is the same distance along the surface of the circle of the sphere to every point on that circle. That is
on the surface of the circle. That's flat of the sphere. That's what he's just said.
A circle of equal angle.
Well, what he's trying to do is say that you can stick a protractor, maintaining your zenith angle from a sphere, right, and draw a circle without bending your protractor, and you can't do that.
He said angle law.
Along the surface of the circle of the sphere to
of the circle of the sphere. No, it's a circle of equal elevation. It's an area of equal altitude. A circle of equal elevation, circle of equal altitude. These are the descriptions. They've got various different types of naming structure, but they're always the same. A circle of equal elevation, a circle of equal altitude. That's what they are. Circles. 2-dimensional. Not spheres. No, not bent radii. Definitely not. But will he concede? No, he'll convolute circle of equal elevation with a sphere of equal elevation. On a circle on a sphere. Just a liar. That's what Omni is. A liar.
Every point on that circle. That is a circle of equal angle.
Now we're getting back to it being a circle. A circle of what, you say, Omnivore?
A bend.
No, it can't bend.
Is the same distance along the surface of the circle of the sphere to every point on that circle. That is a circle of equal angle or equal elevation.
Equal angle? You don't know what you're talking about.
The zenith
circle of equal angle? This spastic hasn't got the slightest clue what he's talking about. It's not a circle of equal angle, you stupid spastic. Sit down and shut the fuck up, Omni.
So, you know.
Omni is a spastic. It's not a circle of equal angle. He's a tard.
Prepared to explain it to you. I will.
You don't need to explain anything. But even when it's an overt error in linguistic delivery, he still cannot concede. What a coward. There's no such thing as a circle of equal angle. He's just made it up. It's a term that does not exist in celestial navigation. I'm saying that's wrong. Can he concede? Total coward. Can't even admit when his linguistic ability's failing him. Think circle of equal angle.
The idea that the idea that an angle would remain consistent within a circle to anything is wrong. So yeah, he's completely clueless on what these words mean, I think.
That got your tongue, you dimwit. It's not a circle of equal angle, you fucking dimwit. You think I need your explanation? You don't even know what it's called.
Yeah. Okay, are you ready?
Yeah, so radii don't bend. It's not a circle of equal angle. You are a stuttery dimwit.
You ready to try again? Okay, so let me...
Circle of equal anglitude.
So Nathan, you're the one who's not behaving well here.
Sorry, radii don't bend.
Is this
going to be you stuttering through a potential question that I'm not going to answer? I don't answer any questions. I point out how like you measure circles of equal elevation and then suggest that the radius that we've derived bends. Then I call you a spastic.
So I'm
gonna stutter straight through the top. I know what you're gonna do, you stuttery, mathematically illiterate twat. And then laugh like a giggly little girl.
This is not that
That's
hard.
me. I'm like,
What isn't that hard? The radius being straight. You said it was bent, you dimwit.
Nathan.
Say my name, you stuttery bit. Radii don't bend. We measure Earth flat.
Really cool. I have a really cool cock-shaped microphone, and I'll send it to you if you answer the question, Nathan.
Right, you want to tell me about
Stick it
a
up your
cock-shaped
ass.
microphone now when I point out the radii don't bend when you suggested that a ground distance was bending? No, we're measuring circles of equal elevation by deriving flat radii.
Yeah, I'll send it to you if you answer the question.
Right, what are you going to send me? A cock-shaped mic?
Cock-shaped microphone, because
Right, really? Well, I'll be describing a flat Earth radial value in a derivation from this angle measurement on screen for my audience, where we derive from the marked alpha angle a radial value that is flat as depicted on this screen. When you derive a nautical mile distance flat for radial value off a flat Earth with a flat Earth angle.
Yeah, and Omni's going to deflect now to some stupid shit.
Okay.
Yeah,
All
go
right.
ahead, Omni. With
Try again. Third
stupidity.
time. So is this diagram...
Why are you asking me something? Ed?
I was going to say, he's asserting that the elevation angle, right? He wants to say that that stays the same no matter what, how much you rise in elevation. But there's two zeniths, right? And the elevation angle between the 2 points that you're measuring for to get your distance. As you raise an elevation, that distance does not change. You know?
Right, I got you. So what you're saying is, that's an interesting point. If it was to be assumed that we could have a bent radii, it would mean that if the concept of having the celestial sphere at an infinite distance wasn't kept in tow, we would rise in altitude, potentially thousands of meters or thousands of feet. But the point on the ground below you, parallel in reality, wouldn't increase in distance. Whereas if you're measuring it in light of the ground curving away from you, the altitude would then have to be taken into consideration as an increase in the distance, because you haven't got a parallel distance to be inferring. Ergo, the overall value that you measured on that bendy radius, can't believe I'm saying it, would be an increased value with an increased altitude, because you'd add the altitude to the feet measurement of that distance. But we don't. As we raise in altitude...
That's why their idea does not work. That's why you can't build.
Yeah. You raise in altitude, you don't take into account how many feet your radial value will increase. You take into account the elevation so you can minus it from the acquisition of the flat Earth angle, because you're minusing it from the flat baseline if you're using the horizon to level your tool. There's going to be an inaccuracy if you raise in altitude, but that doesn't affect the angle measurement or the angle acquisition with the tool. The angle remains the same regardless of the altitude increase, therefore not increasing the distance of the radial value if you assume that there's a spherical value that has to include the increased altitude, where in reality it doesn't affect the output value of radius, it only affects the acquisition of a flat Earth angle, that's an elevation angle, from the parallel plane when at altitude. I have absolutely no respect for you. I'm not going to be answering any of your questions.
It's called sea level.
Sorry, I played before as you started saying that. Can you say it one more time, please, Wandek?
Oh, sorry. I was just saying the altitude would be in reference to the level.
Yes, if you were doing a dip correction, the way you do it is by cross-referencing the angle compensation to your altitude from sea level, the master reference called sea level. That's correct. I think that's what he said. Mr.
I didn't know
Area
you broke up.
I think I figured out what he said pretty well. Equal angle. I'm not answering anything you ask me.
It's a yes or no question.
It's a... You're going to give me good eye contact?
To understand this.
You're going to suck my dick and give me good eye contact?
I don't think you've read...
I don't think you're going to suck my dick, so I'm not going to answer any of your questions. I will point out our area of equal elevations measured. It's not an area of equal angle, you
He starts losing a debate. He immediately starts thinking about gay sex.
Right, I was just asked if I wanted a cock-shaped microphone.
You know.
That's
right
true.
now he's thinking about
suck your ball.
So that guy that was asking me if I want a cock-shaped microphone is a closet homo by your standards, sir. As you just for the audience's benefit, one of the things I edited out from this video was a stream of interruptions from the Discord server with someone playing sound bites of me saying don't swear, suck on my balls, things like that. That I edited out. I left one in for reference towards the end of the clip, because that's what they've got as a tool in their arsenal when they're losing really badly. Cause complete audio chaos, have 4 men fuck on your behalf in the case of Omnicuck, and a 5th man play clips of me over the top of me so I can't be heard. Did you try and pull me off in again? Say again, Neil?
Yeah, pretty sure with the one playing that clips was McToon bloody sock account.
Possibly.
Oh, so wait a second. He doesn't want to get off his mic and confront Nathan. He just wants to sit there like a little kid and play sound bites.
I've said this so many times, right? People don't seem to get it. When I describe a Batman t-shirt wearing wanker as an overgrown 12-year-old who fantasizes about being Superman in the ISS, I mean it sincerely. So yes, what, a fully grown man with a soundboard playing clips of his opponent that he's not talking to into the discussion where his compadre is getting absolutely annihilated. Yes, like a little 12-year-old boy. That's what they are. Overgrown 12-year-old boys. They revert back to the mindset when they learnt this shit. That fantastical feeling that they got when they were 12-year-old boys. That's how they behave now. That's why they think they're Batman. That's why they're sat with a soundboard. That's why they have to fuck on behalf of other pathetic, prematurely ejaculating little 12-year-old boys. That's what they are.
Yeah, but he has a meter. He has like a count of you not coming and debating him. So there's a problem here because you are right there in a neutral platform. So sound bites, soundboard, playing sound bites, that doesn't make sense.
Of course it makes sense. If you were watching Hulk beat the living shit out of 5 people, would you jump in? Because that's what's happening. You got Omnivore and 4 cucks all trying to deal with one man. He, that's me, has no control over the circumstances. I can't stop them from piling in. If they decide that they're going to come in and start telling me that I shouldn't swear, come in and telling me that I don't understand, start asking me what a circle of equal elevation has a radius for, all of the cuck interruptions haven't changed that Omnivore has bent a radius and said that the ground distance is bent. It isn't. You don't bend radii. Is he ever going to admit to that? No, he's a pathetic little coward. Now, watching somebody who's equivalent to yourself, that's a pathetic Batman t-shirt wearing, fart sniffing wanker, get annihilated, you're going to go, oh no, I'm going to take his place. Getting absolutely beaten shitless. Of course not. What's the easy option? Play a few soundboard quotes. Oh, look, he's swearing when he says don't swear on his show. I'm going to play a clip of him saying don't swear.
So you're saying you're not going to be stupid enough to jump in when the Hulk is destroying 5 people, so you throw rocks at him from a distance. I got it.
Yes.
You're a liar.
That's actually a fair point by Nathan.
Nathan, he's jealous, Nathan.
I don't think Nathan's capable of thinking.
Go ahead. Nathan won't tell me, but go ahead and tell me what his point was.
You want Nathan's attention, White Knight?
What's up?
That's what it is.
Omni got Nathan thinking about the gay stuff with his mic, so I blame it on Omni, not Nathan. Nathan's not. He can't be held accountable for that one.
Oh, okay.
Somebody in there is jealous. I heard a voice getting all upset.
Look, as a black transgender lesbian, I find all of this highly problematic.
Anyone who's ever seen him knows his weakness. It's not that hard. But Nathan, I've tried 4th time.
Not that hard.
Huh? Have you read any of the literature, any of the how-to on celestial navigation? And did it describe it the way that I'm showing
Sounds
it
like
in
you
my
need a
Blender
doctor,
model?
Omni. It's not that hard. That's erectile dysfunction. Go see a
yes
doctor.
Or no, but
On screen now, the answer is yes. On screen now is diagrammatical examples of elevation angles taken from flat planes with respect to azimuth for directionality. This diagram on screen was taken from a celestial navigation manual.
Did we make that? That was funny, Nathan, when I came in with.
I mean, I'm trying to keep the subject on toe. I mean, I kept it into the edit, Neil, which tells you obviously I was chuckling when I was editing this. So yes, I did keep in your erectile dysfunction joke. But by the same token, I just want to hear his ad homs as opposed to your responses to them. And then I can respond, which is what he's trying to do, distract. right? Telling me it's not that hard, like I'm struggling to understand this, because that's what they've got. Flip it like somehow I'm not comprehending. That's also a form of gaslighting, by the way. Really? Came from 10th man, actually. It's not strictly speaking mine.
Okay,
but
so good. Wait, we just
stutter. What I can do is he's detecting that I'm going to point out that we've got a celestial navigation manual. So where he's asked me, have you ever read any celestial navigation manuals? Yeah, I have. Here's a demonstration of how Earth's measured flat from a celestial navigation manual. It's he needs to immediately mute me. That's what's happening. But instead of being able to actually come up with a fast, quick-witted response to the flat Earth demonstration on screen, he's stuttering like a little bitch getting raped. Like
Omni is the guy.
Yes.
Omni's the guy that told me that if I could find the plane in his reference, then he would leave this subject and never come back. And guess what the name of the book was?
What?
Planar Surveying.
He can't make it up.
Well, these people are liars. What, saying, if you can show me where a flat Earth's used, I'll disappear and never come back. Why are you still here? Oh, is it because you're a liar? Yeah, you all are. That's what you've got to do. Gaslight people and lie. Yeah? That's what's happening. Nathan doesn't understand is the general rhetoric of the 4 other men who are having to fuck on Omni's behalf. That's what I'm being told by them. You just don't understand. What, radii? It's not very basic.
Did we make that manual?
No, came from 10th man, actually. It's not strictly speaking mine.
Okay,
but
so good. Wait, we just
stutter like a complete. Yes, we do, don't we, Omni? You hard area of equal angle. Do not swear on my show.
So now,
hear that? Do not swear on my show. That's somebody, a 12-year-old fart sniffing Batman t-shirt wearing wanker, playing clips of me through the top of me winning. Because that's what you've got to do. Yeah. When I call him an area of equal angle wanker, that's him not conceding to the incorrect use of language when trying to oppose me. Yeah, he fucked up big time. So what's going to happen when I point that out? Area of equal angle much? Oh, I'm going to hear a clip of myself played by a coward with a soundboard.
now we move to the next question, okay?
I'm not answering any of your questions. What part of this don't you understand? I have absolutely zero respect for you. I'm not going to be answering any of your questions. I'll be telling you, with your areas of equal angles, how flat Earth is measured for radius, after measuring angles from flat planes. That's not an invitation for you to ask me a string of questions. What it is me responding to his question, in fact. He said, have you ever read any celestial navigation manuals? And by chance, I had a diagrammatical example on screen at the time. So the answer to his question, yeah, I have. Here's an example. We measure Earth flat in this diagrammatical example with a glorified globe Earth protractor wrapped around you. That's what this is. See this seemingly spherical diagrammatical example? Yeah, well, you're inside it, aren't you? That's how you've got to be diagrammatically represented if you're measuring angles to things like stars. You measure them with respect to a plane. The very plane that he's bent when he suggested we take zenith angles. The lying cuck piece of shit that needs 4 men to fuck for him. That's Omnivore. But is he conceding? Oh, well, that means you have, as I've asked, read celestial navigation manuals that detail your point explicitly with flat plane measurements. Is he going to concede that? No. It's time to move on to a new question that I'll ask through the top of you pointing this out. That's what cowards do with their mute buttons when they lose. Well, if you just chanted through it, I mean, it's almost like it was never stated. I don't have any respect and don't want to answer any questions.
Give you a unique latitude and longitude.
Latitude and longitude are derived from flat Earth measurements of Polaris and the Sun. Take bets. How many people think he'll respond to that? He's used a flat Earth prerequisite, Sun and Polaris measurement, latitude and longitude. I've pointed out how flat they are after he's used them. Let's see if he acknowledges this. Place your bets now if you think he'll acknowledge it. Cowards. On screen now. Derivation of the longitude system with the Sun.
Does this
previously
give you
depictions of elevation angles to Polaris? If you put your money on, he'll be immediately chat skanking through the top of you, beating the piss out of him with his own standard of latitude and longitude that's measured off a flat Earth. Then you are right. You win $10.
on Earth.
For latitude.
That's a yes
I'm
or no.
answering him, coward, who has to yak through the top of me. He asked me about latitude and longitude. I'm answering him, but he can only yak through me because he's a cunt.
You don't really
coward,
know, right? You're not
coward. Do not swear. Another example of somebody playing the soundboard, as I call him, a cunt. All right, so you ask me about latitude and longitude. I point out how they're measured on a blah 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 blah. Yeah, so I call him a name because that's what he's being, and I get "do not swear" on my show from a soundboard played through the top of it. So no concession that latitude and longitude are flat Earth prerequisite measurements. No, we're just hearing a clip of me played from a wanker, overgrown 12-year-old Batman t-shirt wearing fart-sniffing dweeb. On my show.
I'm just telling you don't really understand.
What, latitude measurement with elevation angles to Polaris, or longitude measurements for time with the sun? Which one don't I understand?
But, you know, if I looked like you.
If you just stutter the way through the top of my response each time, it's almost like I've not given it.
I'm asking you a yes or no.
Yum. So was that yum, 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 yum. That's somebody again with a soundboard that's cut up little sections of me because they're presumably infatuated and obsessed with me. So they're cutting up little sections that can have permanently on their desk so they can hear my voice at a moment's notice. Yeah, 12-year-old fart sniffers. Anyway, that's it.
I'm asking you a yes or no question.
In Bend, we measure Earth flat.
Really cool. I have a really cool cock-shaped microphone, and I'll send it to you if you answer the question, Nathan.
Right, was that fun? Did you enjoy that? Was it worth the effort? Took a lot of editing, and I still had a swear word in there. There was an F-bomb right in the middle. Very annoying.
That's hard to do when, like, try to get any kind of decent conversation out of them when they're in charge of the room and they can just, mute everything you say, basically.
Yeah. Their tactic is, if I can talk through this devastating response that proves I'm A, wrong, bent radii for distance, you say? No, you're wrong. And how the radii is a flat Earth measurement. If I can chat skank through the top of you in an open forum, it's like I haven't lost. It's like you didn't win. It's like the radii can bend. That's their tactic. Yeah, that's what you need. When you tell me you need me in neutral platforms, that's what you want to do. Yeah? Mute me when you lose. That's what you think is neutral.
All they did was troll you for however long that took. They rickrolled you. They don't ever have a serious conversation with anyone. I dealt with these retards many times, and they got me to yell every time. I finally realized there's no real sense in talking to these idiots.
Yeah, exactly. Why bother talking to people who are delusional? Yeah, they have their heads stamped on, and while they're dripping blood, they go, "You lost so badly." That's what they do.
Exactly what they do. They take it as a victory because they have trolled you. You took the bait.
I don't know about trolling me and taking any bait. What I'm doing is pointing out how area of equal elevation is measured off a flat plane. You measure an elevation angle from a flat surface, take that measured angle, minus it from 90, times it by 60 to give you a distance along the surface in flat linear miles, called radial values for circle of equal elevation. Not circle of equal angle, not spastic bent radii, none of this stupid shit that they have asserted to me. So they are attempting to deceive their own side into believing they can bend a radius for a circle of equal elevation. They are genuinely attempting to discuss these things, but they're too cowardly to actually concede where they're wrong. So they're just constantly in an existent state of cognitive dissonance and think that they can overcome it by chat skanking through the person that's showing their cognitive dissonant state to them with a flat Earth measurement that they're the ones who are in need of. They're the ones making the assertion. They're the ones discussing these points. They're bringing it up to me and asking me how I explain things. So in this particular instance, we've got Omnivore going, if I take a zenith angle, I can bend this distance along the ground. That's the assertion being put to me. Oh no, what you get called is a delusional spastic when you try and bend a radii for a circle of equal elevation. The fact that it takes 14 minutes complete cuck dumbos to actually understand or get to the end and not comprehend is only a testament to how stupid they are, not how successfully they're suggested to be trolling me. Like I say, I've turned it into an entire live stream. It's been worth me editing it down.
Yeah, the funny thing is they can't even get the zenith. They don't have a zenith to claim that they have a bent line with. Because if you bend the line, you can't get a zenith.
Exactly. From jump, they've
I mean,
got a flat
I know there's a
measurement.
lot of stupid people. And I know Steve says some things about this is the perfect example of brainwashing, that these people are just this stupid. But I find it hard to believe that after all these years, they're just not trolling.
No, I think they're genuinely in cognitive dissonance, and it's a testament to the human brain that we can survive in that state with a situation that's incongruent with a stated axiomatic fact, in this case, radii not bending. They will argue indefinitely to maintain a mental state where they can bend this distance. That's what he's doing. That's the whole opener. I'm going to play it again just so we remind ourselves what the opening gambit from Omnivore was. Right, you want to tell me about a cock-shaped microphone now when I point out the radii don't bend when you suggested that a ground distance was bending?
The angle measured with a sextant does not have a
waited until he was. Elderberry, you could have at least waited until he was done.
Position of the star in celestial navigation. So here's
We're
your star.
not doing trigonometry. Pay attention.
Can you
Celestial
explain that?
navigation and trigonometry,
How
two
the
different
sextant
things.
measures the Earth flat when it's
If you're
not an
standing-
elevation angle.
All right. Well, if you're standing.
Okay, so from here, pay attention to what is actually being claimed by Omnivore.
Standing here at the particularly right time of night, at the day of the year, this is where you're standing, and you will see, if you look directly straight up, you will see the star right over your head. So this is the ground position of the star. Over here is the boat. All right, so this is, in this case, we are in a boat. It's a nice sturdy boat, you can see. And I've got my vertical here, because I'm not taking an elevation angle to the star. What I really want is my zenith angle to the star, which is this angle here. So I'm taking this angle and this distance here, and you can see that this is curved. Now, you can disagree, whether or not that distance is really curved. Angle and this distance here, and you can see that this is curved. Now, you can disagree, whether or not that distance is really curved. But the celestial navigation, this distance here, and you can see that this is curved. Now,
So, the distance forming a radius for area of equal elevation is curved. That's his claim. And like I say, deluding yourself that you can curve a distance in linear miles is the fantasy that leaves them in this cognitively dissonant state permanently. Now, they can say, I was just trolling by wasting 14 minutes of time, edited time, it's probably more like 20. That means I win. Well, no. Radii still don't bend. This distance that bends isn't capable of being bent. It forms a radius. No amount of trolling is going to alter the facts in this matter. They need distance that's linear to bend. So it bends around the surface level. Sorry, bent surface level. That makes no sense. We're measuring areas of equal elevation. That's flat. Circles, two-dimensional, with radii. That bend? No. That's what you've got to survive in. I say survive because it's painful for them mentally. Why do you think 4 men jumped in? They couldn't cope with the mental anxiety this caused them.
I'm surprised that you let them get away with having a zenith to begin with to start this calculation, but I can see,
No, you're right. I missed that. No, it's not that I let him. It's that I missed it completely. It didn't occur to me to say, well, to have a zenith to begin with, you need to be 90 degrees to the ground position that you're suggesting is the zenith position of the star and convoluting 2 terms. Ground positions below the star when you're measuring it from a different point, not as its zenith. But by convoluting these 2 points, you can have a ground position and zenith be a single point. So again, a deception. I just didn't catch it. So kudos to you, John. Next time I will. Any other comments?
They love slipping that in.
Well, they need it.
I was just going to say that.
You good?
I was just going to say they have to slip it in. They need that vertical. They need that perpendicular to a flat plane. They need it. So they got to slip it in somewhat. Usually,
yeah, had it immediately.
Yeah. That's correct.
Yeah, and by having his example where you're taking the positions, ground position as a zenith position also, then you simultaneously have the ground position, if measured by a third party not in the example, be your position at the zenith of the star. So then you can have a single point for both zenith and ground position. Where you're standing at the star, well then you definitely wouldn't be measuring it. And if you happen to be so lucky as to have a navigation star completely above you, then you know exactly where you are. It's already marked in the almanac. Any more for any more?
Yeah, but to even get that above you, right? Above is a description with respect to a horizontal plane, not a curve.
That's correct.
Altitude as opposed to azimuth, correct?
Yeah, they're trying to use words that have the flat Earth prerequisite to them, just never mention how they get that word. So zenith is perfect for that.
Yeah, most people don't know what zenith is. Correct.
They want to use the words but not acknowledge what the words mean.
Any other comments? No. With that, I will say, if you are watching this on either Nathan Oakley 1980 or Nathan Oakley Premiering streams, then stay tuned, as there will be an after show to follow.
Even think about it.
I'm glad that's over. I hate starting shows with technical difficulties. I'm all sweaty and clammy as soon as I go live because I'm stressed. Ballers don't stress me out. The technical issues that I have occasionally do stress me out. I've got to be honest.
Yeah, I don't blame you. I hate technical. I used to run a talk show. 2009 I started, and every time I started the show, I had to get everybody's levels exactly correct. Or else, I just was losing my mind. Because that's how I am. Because what kind of comes from the musician part of me, all levels have got to be perfect, or your recording sucks. You know what I mean?
I'm glad. As much as I joked that it was your fault, it wasn't. Obviously, I was joking.
Oh, I know.
But I am grateful that you are, concerned about those sorts of things from Discord. As much as in the moment, I'm like, if you hadn't said anything, this wouldn't be a problem. Total bullshit. That's me coping.
Oh, yeah,
that's my cope.
I'm getting blamed. It's okay. All right.
I can do it too, like a baller, right? I've got a problem I can't solve. Well, I'm going to immediately project that onto you. This is your problem, Harp. You caused this.
Everybody was doing it. You weren't the only one. I was the only one who was correct.
They won't look back in you. You had to say something, Harp.
I'm glad you did. I'd rather have those issues sorted before going live. They're far more difficult to sort when you're live, because then the computer's humming away. It's using more power. Now you might think, well, so what? Well, then the stakes get higher. Number one, you're broadcasting to an audience. They can see every little issue and every bit of stress that's being caused, and you can't go back and alter it. It's live. So if you mess up or get too annoyed or too frustrated, that'll forever be ascribed to you with little clips, right? So exactly. You can't really get away with it live. But before live, oh, right, I'm coming in a bit quieter than Neil. That could be cause for concern. Let's figure it out.
Yeah. So I've done recordings back with live bands, and we did it song perfect, and then listened back, and the recording sucked. Now, you understand how frustrating that is when you're playing a whole 5-minute song, and you stop and go to listen to it, and it just sucks. Not because you didn't do it perfect.
Yeah, completely agree. If there's one setting wrong and it's just overloading a microphone into a particular channel, in this case, there's a line that's overloading into Discord and it's clipping and cutting me off. So you're like, okay, that needs to be fixed. So I'm glad you mentioned it.
There was a guy back in the day who could not get his audio right. And like even after years, his name was Jaron.
Jaron?
He could not. Yeah, Jaron. Yeah,
it takes a lot of effort.
He didn't listen.
That's it. You got to make test recordings. I mean, when I first set up, I must have spent. I remember Patricia Steer and Be Here in Love being with me when I first set this up, right? So I'd had P. Mars show me how to install Voice Meter Banana, and I'd installed it, and it's just a very complicated desk, but digital instead of analog. And I'm trained in sound, and an analog desk works, so I had an advantage straight away. I knew how to route things in and out of various different lines, so I was at an advantage, but I just couldn't fathom it. It was new. So I've got Be Here in Love in Discord. I've got Patricia Steer in G+, and I've got me. It was actually Skype as opposed to Discord, but that's not relevant, right? And I'm just trying to figure out how to get all of these different things connected to each other. The same applies to this day. If somebody called me on Skype, I could patch them into the conversation. That is to say, a couple of clicks, and you can all hear Skype. Skype can hear you. That's Teams now. Teams can hear you. You can hear Teams. You can talk to them in Teams. Teams can hear Discord. Discord can hear G+, G+ can hear Teams, everyone can hear me. In other words, they're all happily interacting with each other. But it took days to get it to work. Days and days and days of having very patient people sitting in open calls with me saying, just shut up, just be quiet for a moment. Now talk, why aren't you talking? Talk! You know, because I'm getting more and more wound up with it because I can't figure out how to stop the echo. Anyway, all works beautifully now.
Oh, good. Sometimes it's just a matter of you drift back away from the mic.
Yeah, it's for heavily gated. So sometimes if I'm just cutting out, it might be that I've just got too severe a gate and I'm too quiet and it's just not making it through. There's always something.
Yeah, because we're getting closer and closer to the mark.
I was just going to add, this also seems to only be an issue with the desktops coming through loud and clear on the phone, and there was no issue whatsoever.
Yeah, it's a Discord issue. I mean, I'm glad I thought it was my desk, and it wasn't. But when I started fiddling with Discord, I made it worse initially to then eventually make it better. But it is definitely a Discord issue. And like you say, it's not necessarily an issue across all platforms that it's outputting to, which is even more bizarre. But I've got a complicated setup, so it's fine. It's just, sometimes those things happen. It'll probably never happen again until I get an update. This will probably be perfect for another year.
Now, what Flat Earth Cafe just said, it was pointing to it's my problem, which is wrong. See, because now you're good. So your phones are lying to you. You get it? Your phones are lying to you because it's not good. All right? So there you have that.
I could just tell you everybody from Nathan's box is at an equal good quality volume level when they come through.
Excellent. That's what I want to hear.
They are now. Actually, John's a little low, but they are now.
There's no volume
Is
control
this
in
the age
G+
where
anymore.
everybody just is listening and doing everything on a little tiny phone? I can't deal with it. This new phone I got, I realized how to turn off all these notifications. Like every 5 minutes I was getting, you know, and shut the fuck up. And so finally I realized how to get rid of all these noises. I can't stand it. I didn't even want to deal with a computer. I waited till 2003 till I bought a computer. Okay, so that was 5 years after everybody had one.
Bloody phone. I very, very, very rarely take my phone anywhere unless I absolutely have to. That is to say, there's a risk that the car might break down. I'm like, oh, well, I might have to take my phone with me then, just in case. But beyond that, if I'm going anywhere, I don't take my phone with me. If my wife's with me and she's got her phone, I won't be taking mine. Because it, like you say, just irritates you. It's just a constant distraction.
Yeah, it's what's caused the zombies these days. People get hit by cars. People have accidents because they're looking at a phone.
Yep.
Everybody's being just retarded and brain dead. Now we got data centers coming.
I'm like that with my iPad, but I'm working on it. So, you know, when I'm wandering around outside, my neighbours will see me outside and I'm glued to the iPad. But I'm editing something, you know what I mean? I'm doing work. I'm not watching some random shorts video, scrolling, doom scrolling.
Right. And an iPad's different than a phone. It's bigger and easier to see.
I actually hacked up a bit of yesterday's show. Does anyone want to hear that? No worries if you don't.
Oh, do what you want. It's your show.
It means you're going to play it anyway, whether we want to or not.
Right, here you go.
I think the threat of drowning is real. For what? You can just take the measurements.
For what? That's just what I want to do. Oh my God, we nearly died. The boat sank. We were in a dinghy. We had to find our position with celestial navigation, get our bearings, and gone home. Now we're home. What do you want to do, Billy Dweeb? I know. I'm going to measure the angle of this star because I want to know how high it is. Is that what you do with your spare time, fart sniffers?
I'm going to hug my family and thank God there's a system measuring elevation angles and getting me home to my family.
Oh, forget all that, Neil. Are you saying you can't get the height? It's the first thing I'm going to do when I get home. Once I'm in my safe space, I'll be measuring angles and extracting height from them. Really, you fart-sniffing dweeb, I'll be making love to my wife. Had we have not had this discussion, SalNav would still be measuring linear miles. Miles would still be linear, maps would still be scaled with flat distances. Topographical deviations would still be measured from surface level in the horizontal with linear miles. Nothing that's taking place here has any bearing on how flat Earth is and will always be measured. But in the mind's eye of a fart-sniffing delusional, they think that showing height of a star means that we didn't measure all these things flat? Wow, you've got to be pretty delusional. Infinitely distant, because the elevation angle measurement remains the same at all altitudes it is measured from. Ergo, this convention, that's the celestial sphere, is described as having infinite distance. The only odds that ascribe distance to stars are you bunch of and you don't do it with elevation angles.
Oakley can calculate it, he just doesn't want to. That's
right. Why would I need to as my rebuttal? We're not going to them. Neil, spot on. No, but Nathan can't do it. Therefore, all bets are off. Therefore, what? It's not flat? Not linear? Nothing you've done here has changed anything. Sniffing dweebs. I've rebutted you 4 times, and now you're saying, well, Nathan can't do it. For what purpose? The answer was knowledge.
No.
How high the stars are.
I would like to know how far the stars are away. I'm sure a lot of your viewers would.
That's why you get strangled and thrown over the side of the lifeboat. Because while you're pondering how high they are, other people are trying to find out their position so they don't die, so they can find their way home on a map. While you ponder how high they are, other people will be fixing to murder you, so you don't put in jeopardy the people who find out where they are on the ground. Not how high the star is, so you can wonder about it and sniff your own farts.
So it's weird. You know you can calculate it, but
I know that you're a stuttery little who wants to know the height of the stars when this process is for finding ground positions, not elevations of stars, you stupid.
Nathan, you could do the calculations once you get back to safe ground. Like, I think the threat of drowning is real. For what? You can just take the measurements.
For what? That's just what I... That's it.
No, you cannot do any calculations to a frickin' star, you retards. Because if you rise 30,000 feet, it's the same damn thing. You frickin' retards.
Right. The moment you try to calculate the distance to the star, you are in contradiction to the celestial sphere and its application.
Yeah,
you can't do that.
Exactly. As I tried to explain to them, it's classed as infinite distance because you raise in altitude, the elevation angle doesn't change with altitude from sea level, I might add. So it's violating the convention. And by trying to ascribe distances, in their case, I said to them, you're not doing this with elevation angles. That's to say the only Muppets that extrapolate a distance to a star is you, but just not with this process. You don't use celestial navigation processes to extract distances to altitudes of stars. That's Kepler, Copernicus, and Huygens. That's how they do it for heliocentric derivations that also violate the celestial sphere with infinite distances. You can't then use the stars for celestial navigation if you put it in a Keplerian, Copernican, orbital elliptical motion scale by Huygens. It all fails because as you raise in altitude, the elevation angle stays the same. Hence the convention of the infinitely distant celestial sphere. That was the end of the video, by the way. Right, I'm going to go and get a coffee. Hopefully you'll all chat amongst yourselves because I need a little break. It's been a very intense 2 hours. Yes, Nathan.
Intense. I thought it was a joke. Sit back. I tried to sit back and just listen. It's pathetic with the things that they're saying. But a game show sounds good now.
Agree. It's absolutely pathetic. Them guys have nothing. They're just a bunch of trolls. Out with these guys, and they got me to yell every time, and then I just stopped dealing with them. Because you can't help but yell at them because they're so fucking stupid. Or at least they're acting that way, you know? Can't help but yell at them. Then I get tagged with, oh, all he does is yell at people. No, that's not how it starts. It's never how it starts. Same with Jesse. Every time I re-see that son of a bitch, like every 3 or 4 or maybe 6 months, I start out, hey, Jesse, what's up? And I play the game. And it ends up the same every time. Because he's not an honest man. And he's not stupid. See, there's the thing. I posted a picture in here a while ago. And I said, what's wrong with this picture? He was the first one to realize what was wrong with it. Amongst all you guys, he was first. So I know he's not stupid. Right? And I know that when I have told him about his observations and his little tests, he calls experiments, whatever, by optics, looking, he doesn't understand to this day perception, perspective. Doesn't. They don't get it. They don't get, they might as well still call it perspective because they're this retarded that they take a real thing and just ignore it and say, no. You want to have their little puppet vision side view. Then when they're looking at something face on, they say, oh, it's because of the curve. It's not, because shit shrinks. You still don't get it after 10 years, 11 years, 11 years now. So how do you not get perspective after 11 years? How do I show them little YouTube videos on how to understand perspective and they just ignore them? They just ignore it.
Same thing with trying to explain what level is. Just because it's level doesn't mean Earth's flat.
Yeah, every single tool you're using to level is exactly straight. There are no curves in levels. There are no curves in your sight when you're using a transit or a theodolite. You're not dealing with any kind of curve. Then when they see the perspective, and they get this spherical access bullshit, and all it is the air, and it's just going downward because that's how perspective works. Then they have to say, oh yeah, that's spherical excess, and you're just full of shit. They fool people too, that because there's not a whole lot of artists out here, right? So if you're not an artist, you do stumble with perspective. But if you're an artist, you do not stumble at all with perspective. I don't know any of these guys that are an artist, nor do I know any of them that have gone out on a boat in the ocean, actually taken any real observations. They don't take real observations. The only thing they do is they'll show you a picture. They'll say, well, how do you explain this? And you look at it and you go, well, kind of looks like a wake, kind of looks like the water is rising up. That's what it looks like to me. So you're going to have to do much better than this. And then you show them a picture of like some infrared stuff where you can see literally hundreds of miles. And then they just skip over it and say something stupid or, whatever. They ignore reality. They don't want to deal with reality. I mean, is that just being a retard, or are they just doing that on purpose? I think some of them do it on purpose, and maybe some of them are actually that stupid.
Yeah, I think it's both. And I think it's also the need or the want, desire to become an internet thing. Somebody who knows your name and who respects you or goes to you for information or stuff like that. To be something on the internet. Because it's kind of easy to do that. You know, you make up a name and you play the character. So it's a little bit of everything. I don't think normal people who don't think about being something recognized on the internet think this way or act this way or even think about the nature of Earth at all. And hopefully it's those people that Nathan's book will reach. With these guys tagging along, like, what are those sucker fish that are always on the bottom of sharks and stuff like that? Lampreys or whatever. They're just going to be sticking onto the coattails and screaming, the Earth's not really flat. Just because it's level doesn't mean it's flat. Flat Earth is dumb.
Meanwhile, we're spinning 1,000 miles an hour, traveling around the sun at 67,000 miles an hour. Solar system shooting around a galaxy at what, 438,000 miles an hour? And the whole kit and caboodle is shooting through an infinite vacuum of space at 1.5 million miles an hour. Do you understand how fucking retarded that is to jump past and try to say there's a curve?
You wake up, Harp. You're the only one saying that. That is what is so freaky about the whole deal, about the whole situation. You are the only one. I'm just using the universal you. You're the only one saying that. They aren't saying that. I haven't heard a glober say 8 inches per mile squared in any serious discussion for a couple years. I can't even get them to make the claim that the Earth is a sphere. It's always Earth is not flat. You can't get, only Flat Earth Dave is the only one out there bringing up 1,000 miles an hour at the equator. And, you know, other people like him that are bringing up, like you did, like we all learned, like we all did. We ninja'd this shit because it was easy to learn. And once you realize that all that stuff's BS, you want to point out that all that stuff's BS. I get it. We've all done it. And I'm only using you as an example, but you haven't heard, well, no, I'll say I haven't heard any glober seriously talk about 8 inches per mile squared and any of that other stuff, any of the other speeds and curves and globe Earth proofs. I mean, really, did we hear it from the clip we heard today? Anything? Any proofs that the Earth is a globe? It's just, this is why it's not, or this is why something's curving, and why when Nathan says Earth measured flat, it's not because the Earth is really flat, because the Earth's not flat. So linear can curve. Look, here's a curved line. Are you saying that's linear? They're arguing that shit. Am I wrong here, or how far am I off?
Well, they were saying that the radius is curved. I mean, that's just absolutely objectively retarded. Because I don't know of any definition that you're going to find out there that shows you a curved radius.
No, I read it out on the show too. I read out the definition.
Yeah.
Well,
okay,
they've got the definition that level is perpendicular, is parallel to the surface curve of the surface of the Earth. Merriam-Webster. They've got that, and they've got reciprocal zenith angles for their, which is geodetics. They've got whatever from geodetic surveying that adds the spherical excess stuff that's not relevant. Everyone uses plane surveying, but that's it. They've got the few definitions out there, plus the typical definition of stuff is how GPS uses spherical coordinates or globe coordinates, or they slip in sphere and globe in there all the time. So they've got the quote unquote definitions that they think are backing them up, but that's it. They're not talking about how the Earth is spinning 1,000 miles an hour like it's a proof anymore. The only ones bringing it up are flat earthers.
Yep. They don't bring up 8 inches per mile squared anymore. They don't bring up Alberoni or freaking Eratosthenes anymore. They don't bring up 8 inches per mile squared.
When you say that to them, okay, how are we spinning 1,000 miles an hour? What do they say?
They say one rotation per 24 hours.
One revolution per day. Yeah. So then you say, so you just negated 1,000 miles an hour using one revolution per day, which is not even a thing. Like when you're using revolutions, you're using revolutions per minute, like a power tool, RPM. IRPD, no such thing.
Yeah, that's old school, though. I just take them right to how it's flat. What are we talking about? Ball spinning. You're using flat Earth measurements.
You realize what I'm saying, right? All this insanity is just skipped over. And then they do nothing to show us an actual curve because it doesn't exist. When I show them infrared pictures, they lose their minds and just say, no, they just make up excuses.
The most common response I currently get in the comments section, and this is true across both Shorts videos and TikTok videos, which are the same, is even though, so quote, even though, and then brackets, insert a flat Earth measurement here. So let's say linear miles. Even though Earth is measured flat with linear miles, does not mean that Earth is flat, end quote. Respondent. My response, if I get time to respond, is that's exactly what it means. It's flat, exactly as we measure it.
But just because the sky is blue does not mean the sky is blue.
I had this one the other day. Gravity distorts straight lines.
Gravity is perpendicular to a plane of reference in Newtonian and Einsteinian conventions used with Cartesian descriptions. Gravity is a downward vector. Down is perpendicular to a plane. Doesn't distort anything.
They believe it does.
That's because they took the Greek word gravitos, which means weight. And then they use it and they say you weigh what you weigh because of gravity. Because depending on your structure and your whatever, gravity understands what you are and gives you your weight. You realize that that's
weight is also downward vector perpendicular to a plane. That convention is also downward. Well, you need a flat plane for that too. Weight, gravity, it doesn't matter if you're using specific gravity in that instance, Newtonian gravity in case of a force that's not a force that you can think of as a force, or the Cartesian three-dimensional descriptions with an invented pseudo-Riemannian fourth dimension, all of which require a plane of reference. There aren't any exceptions. I said it in today's live show. It doesn't matter if you step it up to 10 dimensions. It's still going to be described Cartesian. You always require a plane of reference. There are no exceptions.
You weigh what you weigh depending on how many pies you eat.
That's a crappy mic.
Like we were describing yesterday, when you're out on a boat, what they describe as being zero gravitational force, that's 0g, is comparable to a parabolic manoeuvre in either the air, as you descend through a parabolic manoeuvre on an aircraft, or as you descend over the top of the crest of a wave at sea in rough weather. If you're in that parabolic maneuver and the ground is falling away at the same rate that you fall, then it will seem like you're flying on the boat. Well, that's not you having no weight.
Correct.
That's not being weightless. That's you falling proportional to the ground falling away. That's what it is.
When you're on a boat and you literally get lifted off the chair, when that boat hits the bottom of that wake, you hit the chair hard.
Right. When the parabolic maneuver ends, yeah, things end.
Yep.
Yeah, you and your ass meet the surface that was falling. Yeah, eventually the parabolic arc ends, and then your ass hits the ground. Then you know how much weight you've got as your coccyx bone smashes up through your spine.
In the meantime, we had wives and children waiting for us back on the shore, back on land, which was even more insane.
Now we need one of those like harp sounds, and then you do a little flash, and it goes back in time, and we set the scene where the sailor gets off the boat at the dock. He says to his wife, "It was horrendous. We were doing these parabolic maneuvers, and we almost crashed. We lost all power at one point." And the wife turns around and goes, "Did you measure the height of the star?"
If you could do that, that'd be pretty cool. Yeah, they had no idea what was going on. They had no idea until we told them. Because they weren't at the dock waiting for us. They were out shopping, doing what, women and children do.
Yeah, shopping for life insurance. Shopping for a casket.
I couldn't imagine if we would have got dumped off the boat. Boat sank. We were just there floating in the water like 3 miles out.
I'm pretty sure your first concern would be measuring the height of a star.
Well, I didn't have my sextant, though.
We've got to priorities these things, right? We need that knowledge.
I went down to the boat, man. I couldn't, When I'm dumping beer off a boat, there's a problem. Taking that day.
Yeah, I like that part formed part of the lasting memory. We had to jettison the alcohol.
And I did it one by one. That was the insane part. As we're slamming around, I'm taking one beer at a time out of this cooler and watching each one go and sinking into the water. I'm dead serious.
The reason they didn't check the cooler was because when you've gone through that sort of traumatic experience, right, they don't want to get you in trouble for having a few drinks on board. That is not what the Coast Guard are about, right? It's a bit like firemen. They're not there to tell you off. They're there to make sure that you're not dead.
They inspected the entire boat.
Except the cooler.
Except the cooler.
Yeah, because they didn't want to...
Now, that beer would have been shaken up beyond recognition at that point, too. So...
Yeah.
You just realized that it wouldn't have been good either way. Yeah, Steve was yelling at me, what are you doing? Just dump it out.
Just dump it all.
I can't. I was nuts back in the day. Neither one of us puked. Neither one of us got sick.
Dude.
Yes. Oh, yeah. We each had our own case. We were the drinkers. Me and Steve, we outdrank the entire neighborhood. Like everybody fell down and was sleeping, and we were going after the old man's beer up in the kitchen. I'll never forget. We were 14, 16 years old when we were doing that shit. We had a car chase, a high-speed car chase, because we went to get beer. We were 16 years old. And we had beer, had some weed on me. there was a cop caddy corner across the light, and he flashed his lights at us. And it was like, oh, fuck, And so we took off, and there goes the high-speed chase. Now, after the whole thing was over, which was unbelievable, they thought we had robbed the store. This is why. Anyway, he flashed his lights because we didn't have our lights on. He was just telling us we didn't have our lights on. That's all. If we would have realized that, we would have just turned our lights on and proceeded without the holy hell that went after that. Them guys had a gun in my head, and it was bad. We got caught. And they realized, too, the car was, he took his mom's car. We used to do this all the time. So when we kind of ditched it and ran out, they were chasing us, but they couldn't catch us. But they understood the address, because they had the car. So then there was a whole bunch of our friends in the garage, all partying and drinking, and they got swooped on by cops because they were in the wrong place at the wrong time, which was usually a safe place. It was a hell of a night. We all got toted over to the store, and the guy, and we were walking by, the girl's not saying anything, and I'm going, God, tell him it's not me. You know it's not me, right? Not saying anything. Because they told him not to say anything. And they go and they come out and they say, nope, not them. And Steve got $660 worth of tickets. That's it. He put a gun. I had so many times they put a gun to my head, man. Not cool. Where's the gun? They were asking me. Where's the gun? It's like, where's the guns, Nathan? This cop was going, where's the gun? I'm going, what gun? What are you talking about? 16 years old. I'm thinking I'm 16 years old and I'm got a gun to my head. That was Philadelphia, by the way. He's in.
Indeed.
I almost got away from him. I was hiding on a porch, and I needed to get over a rail and down into this tree where they would have never found me. So they were all over the place, and I was watching them. When they all turned around, at one point, I jumped over the rail. So as I'm going down through the air, one of the son of a bitches turns and sees me. I was done. Weed on me in a bowl, and I forget what I could have had, whatever. So I started digging under the tree, and I just buried everything. And they dragged me out. They shined the light under there. They didn't see anything. We had so much problems with cops back in my day. We'd just be hanging out on the corner or whatever, talking, and they'd come up and tell us, no loitering. It's all the time, no loitering. I don't know if anybody remembers Frank Rizzo as the mayor of Philadelphia, but what an asshole. He just constantly tormented people that hung out.
You're all the same, you flat earthers.
I think he was just talking about being a youth as opposed to being a flatty. It's not like no loitering, you flat earthers.
Yeah. What was cool was Steve's parents, they let us come into their house, into their basement, because they knew the problems we were constantly getting into. And they let us drink alcohol in the basement. But there was a rule that if you wanted to smoke the weed, you had got to go outside because the smell lingers. That was it. They were very cool people. Amazing. They literally took their own shit. You know what I'm saying? They, like if they got raided, they would have been responsible because we were all not even 18 years old. Those were the days. Like I said, we would drink so much beer, man, me and Steve, and then everybody's out cold. We're going up into the kitchen and taking the old man's beer, and then the old man's going, "What the? Better put that back." You'd have to buy him beer. That's all he would say. And we'd always leave him one, by the way. Never drink all of it. Always leave him one. In case we didn't get to replace it before he wanted a beer.
I always remember my dad back in the day, I was about 15, something like that. He started making his own wine, with the Demijohn bottles, and he made this particular wine, and I used to, try a bit of it, and it was quite strong. It was nice, tasty, but it was really strong. So what I used to do, we had milk bottles in the house and stuff like that from when the milkman brings the bottles round or empty bottles. And I started saying to my mates, try this, it's fucking mint. And I was getting orders for this wine. Get us a couple of pints of that one deck. It's really good. So I was stealing my dad's these Demijohns in the pantry or whatever, where this cupboard under the stairs where he had it all, and pouring it into pint milk, empty milk bottles and pop bottles, and I was selling it something like, I think at the time I was selling it for like 50p a pint. I was making a fortune, but my dad's wine collection was going down and down and down. Finally got it's funny.
Oh man, that reminds me of this kid that would steal. His old man was involved with the mob, right? Pt2. So he was 12 years old. Him and Danny Stein, they were some serious troublemakers. So he would go in and knew where his old man would keep all this money, and I mean thousands of dollars. He would come out and ride down the road on his bike to a crowd of people like us who were now 18 years old with a big roll of cash in his hand. It's like, Frankie, man, let me get 150 so I could get a quarter pound. And he's got $2,000 in his hand. Eventually, his old man figured it out and broke all his fingers. All of them. Never did it again.
Did he chop off one of his thumbs like in Bound?
No chopping, just breaking.
That's what we'll do on the quiz, just break.
No, the quiz is, every time you mention how flat earth prerequisites are utilised to create your ball faith, you get an ever-increasing amount. Like John suggested initially. That was the right way of doing it, because otherwise every other way results in them dying or losing fingers immediately, doesn't it? So you reward them for acknowledging, because at the moment, right, like today's demonstration on the live show, they can't cope with admitting where they're using a flat earth distance that's a straight radii. They can't admit to it. It's too painful. So if you incentivize it and say you'll get £5 for it, maybe have both circumstances. So if you understand that the distance in this instance is a flat radial value and you verbally admit to that, then you get to move one square. But if you don't, the square's detonated and you fall to your death. So it's a mixture of Squid Games and compensation for actually admitting where we're just measuring Earth flat. It's not that serious.
So tell the truth or die.
Yeah, tell the truth or lose a finger.
I mean, it would be a good show that on telly, because it would just become apparent that, yeah, you're going to be using a horizontal plane for this mathematical globe.
We could have this come to fruition in like a little sketch, again, like a bit of a Keen and Peele sketch, and you have us discussing it, and then you have a little montage that lasts about 30 seconds of all these quiz show contestants seemingly taking part with questions and putting their hands up and answering questions, and it's all with very uplifting music, and then there's a caption that says 6 months later and we're all walking around with necklaces with fingers on.
Oh geez. I was thinking more like they would be on, like, how you play base, you throw the ball at the tank, knock the guy off the board. You just have a big vat of shit. And if they answer wrong, they just fall into the big vat of shit. The dunk tank, yes.
Like
the shit tank.
Like the gladiators. Yeah.
Love throwing balls at them guys. Them guys sit there and they just antagonize the piss out of you, just like a Glober. They'll start picking on you. And they'll start to, like, what are you doing, little sissy girl? You can't throw that ball. Come on, my mom can do way better than that. My little sister can throw better than that. And they just antagonize you the whole time. They cause you to spend more money because you want them in the drink. They don't really care because it's a hot summer's day usually most of the time. And they're making money.
That's what I was going to point out too. They make their money. They get their jollies, their serotonin, their whatever, from causing you to spend more money and energy on them.
By pissing you off. Yes, by pissing you off.
Yeah, and to use it later. All those clips came from somewhere, right? So, all the clips of you saying no swearing came from somewhere. And so that's why in the past couple of days, whenever someone has kind of said, yep, we got it, or, got what I needed. Yeah, that's why they're coming in calm. That's why Omnivore just keeps his cool. He just waits for the ad homs to come through and then just doubles down.
Right. You don't understand. You don't understand. There was the point where I was over at WWD where I got Riggs to say, look, you got to stop saying that.
Stop saying what?
You don't understand. Listen, if you let me explain to you, maybe you'll understand. That's his famous lines right there. He would just say it to everything. I was like, Riggs, every time we say anything, we just don't understand. Well, Riggs literally said, you got to stop doing that because we do understand. It's you
it's funny
who
about
does
the
not
recordings.
understand.
About the recordings, it's called What's Cap or something like some Glober on YouTube. He's an idiot, Cockney idiot. But he's got a clip of Nathan going when Nathan's saying how many times, 5 times, and people sending him £5 to play it. Yeah, it's a £5 super chat, and he's got to go 5 times or something like that. It's
Really?
so funny.
I'll tell you, I got the vibration that I think somebody even said it. That those sound bites were coming from Tim, because he's the kind of guy that will sit there and do all these things and put them all on the soundboard. He's the kind of guy that does that. Where's the guns, Nathan? Showing his complete ignorance of this is not what we said. We did not say if you take a very well-paid tour of a guided place where you have limits where you go, and you're going to be met with guns, you dumb fuck. He said if you go and try to get there on your own without permission, that's when the guns come out.
But what you've just done is exactly what is intended to happen. You've bitten on the straw man. Now we can argue for an hour about whether or not that's the case, when in reality, who cares? You're measuring Earth flat. That was what he actually heard from me. Where's the guns? Well, you're measuring Earth flat. You said there'd be guns. Yeah, but you're measuring Earth flat. Not this distraction from the argument, the heart and soul of the argument. And what did that get? Well, eventually he put the phone down on me, didn't he? Couldn't cope. Because he wants to take it to the straw man and argue about whether or not there's guns there when there's well-organised trips versus guns there when you go of your own volition. Because that becomes the argument. Well, the argument isn't about whether or not there's guns precluding you from going to Antarctica. The argument is whether or not Earth's flat, in their mind. Now, there's no argument. They went and measured it flat.
It was funny because I asked him the other week, how did the elevation angles go down in wherever he was, Antarctica? And he sent me a time lapse. The sun, he said, I've sent you the sundial time lapse. And I just laughed and replied, time is measured flat. Didn't reply after that.
Well, it is. You're absolutely correct.
Exactly. Yeah.
You like that guy who came in the other day that was talking
Yeah.
about this same thing? He's talking about measuring elevation angles and the latitude and longitude system for coordinates. He's like, coordinates aren't measurements, something like that, right? Then he's taken to where coordinates were and describes how long it would take. And I'm like, time's also derived from measuring flat Earth. And he's like, no, time's derived from cesium decay. I'm like, does cesium decay give you the longitude
God, I heard
system?
that.
Suddenly
I
he's
was
in
so retarded, I just didn't know what to do.
when the guy was claiming cesium for time instead of latitude and longitude for time.
That was, I was just blown away.
Yeah, because they don't want to go to
they
the
can't be
time
this
deriving
stupid.
the system that we're actually discussing, because that would mean admitting to a flat Earth prerequisite elevation angle, averaged for this convention called longitude for a coordinate that is absolutely measurable. That's why it's being used. Otherwise, you wouldn't be able to use it to find your position. What use would it be? But they want to deny it and go, oh, well, let's talk about how cesium... It's like, what are you talking about? Because we've got a flat Earth measurement, you'd rather ignore it and take us to a completely irrelevant convention that's used alongside the derivation of latitude, longitude, and time-based systems for navigation. Well, of course, because that means you don't have to admit to the devastating fact that Earth's being measured flat.
Isn't that the same kind of way that meters were, the story they tell us of how meters were determined, the metric system, by something to do with the circumference of the Earth, or I don't know. Does someone know? I just remember hearing a story about how did meters or the metric system get put into place? The story of our U.S. system, feet, was the king's foot was so big or whatever. And then the story of the meter was something also related to kind of something esoteric, like the something to do with measuring the Earth or whatever.
It'd be a linear then.
Yeah, I would. I'm trying to, as I'm talking, I'm trying to not use flat words. Sorry, one deck. I just can't. I was trying to say degrees, but I knew that was so wrong. But there's, all I'm pointing out is that there seems to be a narrative story to explain everything that convolutes it in a way that gives people, it's like Nathan says, cognitively expensive to think about it. Who thinks about freaking cesium when they're thinking about time? Look at your clock. It's 12:15. It's hard enough to cognitively recognize how time is measured flat. I mean, you gotta explain that a little bit, right? Even if you just say, oh, look, there's a sundial. Sundial's horizontal. It's flat.
McToon said he's just got a time-lapse video of him doing it himself.
Yeah. And so there's, the cesium thing is dumb. I mean, I totally understand the sun. I mean, we understand a lot because of the cycles of the sun, moon, stars, planets. So God put them there. And it all has to be based on a horizontal plane. The Antikythera mechanism, perfect example of how that works. But yeah, anyhow, I'm just trying to figure out what the story was behind how meters got decided.
I thought you'd have Googled it by now, mate.
No, I'm on my phone. I'm not at my desk, man.
With the
Damn
concept of
phones.
time, all it is a way to record what just happened, what is happening now, what is happening now it's happening now, and what's happening in the future. And I know a few people got that. That's cool. Oh, isn't it
it's that
weird
chick
how
that came
everything's
on.
based on sixes?
So that time
You have
didn't
60
exist.
seconds, 60 minutes, 24 hours, which 2 and 4 is 6. Isn't it weird how they did that? Saying 666, in other words, time is derived from the numbers 666. Like the actual traveling around the sun was very specifically 66,600 miles an hour, or yeah, around the sun.
Mile, you say? Per hour,
It's
you
the
say?
number of the man. It's the number of the beast. It's the number of the men who make it up. This is without a doubt the beast system that we are under right now. Every single system, medical, everything we're dealing with. Social security, every kind of everything that you deal with is under a system of the beast, completely controlled. Now they have been fucking with our food so bad, and I've just been realizing this as of lately because I had a heart attack recently. So I'm watching and looking at everything now, and it's disgusting. You can't.
That wasn't the food. That wasn't the food, mate. That was the That was the whiskey.
I'm not saying what caused my heart attack was food. I'm sure it had absolutely stuff to do with it, especially the butter, like because I fried everything. Like as long as I've been living, I have fried everything. I eat fried chicken. I fry the fish. I fry everything's fried. Now, there's actually a way to fry stuff without using butter, and it's called avocado oil. I did not know this. So
I use
a lot of
butter
the
all the
things that
time.
I've done, and smoking, and drinking, yes, definitely contributed to what happened. And then all of a sudden, you don't want any of it. And you slow down on meats, and you can tell what's real and what's not. You go to a store, your grocery store, almost nothing is real. Almost zero of it is real. Now they're slipping these cultures, these cellular cultures. Yeah, it's all fake. It's all fake food. Now they're slipping these cellular cultures into literally cloning cells, creating a chicken without a chicken. So you get enough meat to have a whole chicken. Every 3 seconds of this stuff, it does not come from an actual chicken. It's created through cellular structures, cloning. It's crazy. You look it up. They're doing this to all the meats now. Getting fake meat.
So Earth is a cellular roast chicken.
I'm actually cloning chickens in my barn as we speak.
I thought you were cloning sheep.
First of all, they're cellular. They're creating the meat from cells.
What about McChildren? What about McChildren burgers?
Yeah, I did that for a while. Only got 4 of them done. And then I gave that up. Too expensive. Chickens, they're easy.
If only Earth was a big roast chicken. We just got the measurements missing. Same as the globe.
Okay, ready? I'm going to read this to you. How chicken meat is created from cells. Lab-grown chicken, also called cultivated chicken or cellular agriculture chicken, is real chicken meat grown from animal cells in a controlled lab without raising and slaughtering chickens. This is, I'm telling you, sourcing the stuff. Here, I'll put it in here. Watch. This is for real.
Wait a second. Wait, you said, how's it real chicken meat, but not chicken?
Because it's created from chicken cells. So it's literally passed by the FDA as real chicken meat. Yep. And you'll find this shit in your grocery store. And the easiest way to detect it is if you take it in your hand and you can start peeling it apart, it's not from a chicken. It's from cellular bullshit.
They'd probably charge you for that, though. If you started doing that in Tesco's, mate, they want you to pay for it.
Yeah. The more fake the food is, the more expensive it is. It's really weird. As long as it's gluten-free, you know what I'm saying? Because that's what everybody's looking at these days. Oh, it's gluten-free. Grab it. No. Oh, don't do that without reading the rest of the shit that's in there, man.
I don't get anything that's, listen, when it says gluten-free, I go the other way. I try to look for the shit that's just normal. I don't want fat-free, gluten-free, this-free. Keep that shit. Why we shop at Trader Joe's when we can.
Yeah, it's best to go to a good butcher, a good market, but gluten is no good. So gluten-free is good, but that's the only good part of the food. They highlight that gluten-free because a lot of people don't want to have that shit. Like my son is literally highly allergic to it. It messed with his stomach for years until he started researching. And he realized he can't eat anything with gluten in it. Went through all kinds of I can't eat red foods. And then he was like, nah, it's not the red foods, it's something else. And he finally realized it's gluten. Not gluten. Yeah, gluten.
What is gluten anyway?
I'm not sure. You looked at.
We don't even know what it is that they're keeping out.
I think it's partially just the level of processing that each ingredient goes through that breaks it down. It's like homogenizing milk or pasteurizing milk.
This is what it is, okay? Stop guessing.
Yeah.
Listen. Gluten is a substance present in cereal grains, especially wheat, that is responsible for the elastic texture of dough, a mixture of two proteins. It causes illness in people with celiac disease. They have been messing with the wheat forever. But when you're getting wheat these days, it's Monsanto garbage and it's Roundup Ready.
Yeah, that's stuff that's been around forever. But now all of a sudden it's a problem. It's because of something
because
else.
people are realizing it's killing them. It's giving them cancer and heart disease.
Right. I know. I learned a lot. Actually, some relatively autistic grocery store worker, and it takes someone like this. I literally was asking for what's. I need bread that I can actually toast, because I've been guilty Wonder Bread kind of buyer for a long time. Totally am off of it now, but I was just looking for bread, and you could never toast it crisp, right? And so just like Wonder Bread, like white bread, Sunbeam, whatever. You can't.
They're Warbies, mate. They're Warbies.
When Surf Daddy's talking and anybody else talks, it's horrendous feedback because his speakers are too loud.
Sorry. Well, everyone shut up. I'm talking. So anyhow, you can't toast nasty white bread so that it's crisp for some reason. I'd have it on, burn it, and it wouldn't toast well. Anyhow, we're into this nice, I'm sure, autistic spectrum woman at the grocery store, and I just asked her, what bread can I toast? She went into microscopic detail about gluten, about the gluten content, about the ratios, about all this stuff. It was like talking to Sheldon Cooper, from the Big Bang Theory. And it was fascinating. But sourdough bread, basically the answer to the question is sourdough bread is one of the lowest gluten contents and better for you, relatively speaking, better for you breads. And part of that, according to this woman, was because of the process of how it is yeastified and cured, and the whole sourdough process is done. So I'm eating sourdough bread. I can toast it crisp, and I don't eat as much of it. I just need a half a slice of those big round rolls, or do a slice of that and then do a half of that slice, and that's all I need. And I do about 6 eggs a day sometimes on average. So the whole deal about cholesterol being bad for you is a lie also.
Certain cholesterol, yeah, there's good and bad. There's good and bad.
Well, it's good for
Just
you
like
as long as you're eating
bacteria. Yeah.
Sure. It's good. The main thing is it is good if you eat the whole egg. They found out that when they were trying to get people off cholesterol, that if you just did egg whites, that actually was bad for you because it's all the crap in all the stuff in the egg yolk is what balances out what's in the white, and vice versa. And yeah, there's whole studies of countries where, like America would go in, missionaries would go in and try to help the diets of people. Oh, just do egg whites. Totally change their diets, and of course, makes it all worse. So just eat. And like I said, I average probably 4 to 5 eggs a day, and I've gotten better. I've had my cholesterol's fine, and
now, you have your own chickens?
Yeah.
Okay, that's
I think he's exaggerating that.
I'm not exaggerating. I had 6 eggs today this morning while we were doing the show.
Yeah, I absolutely believe you, and that's fine with as long as you got those farm raised chickens.
Well, I'm not going to lie. I don't have as many as I used to, so I do supplement. So, plus I've got enough
What you
chickens.
do buy is free roaming eggs, right?
I'm just getting store-bought eggs.
He's just yoking around.
Oh God.
Yeah, no. Yeah, you crack me up. Was
that 10th man?
Yeah. Oh, I wish it'd be much better. Poor substitute. Anyhow, I got one hen that's being all broody and laying down on about 5 or 6 eggs, so we should have chicks in a couple weeks, and we'll see what happens with them. So I'll hopefully have more chickens for more eggs.
Friend of mine who's got a little farm, I was getting fresh eggs off him. I was probably eating 4 to 6 a day. I haven't done for a while, but he was giving me the trays, and you can tell the difference in the taste straight away. But for some reason, he stopped doing the chickens now. He said it was too messy. But I was, I was getting a tray of 30 or 60 eggs and just boiling them up, just having hard-boiled eggs. I'd even fry them in butter, like fry them well and turn them over and just eat them the next day, just like out of a Tupperware dish like that.
I remember what I just said about frying shit in butter, right? There's an amazing alternative. It's called avocado oil. Avocado oil. It has an extremely high heat resistance, and it doesn't mess with your stomach. I have done it recently a lot. Like, that's all I do now. I do not fry anything in butter anymore, ever. Doesn't happen. Bad. Very bad. Clogs your arteries, as my heart is a witness. On the 24th, I got to go back and get another stent put in. So I ain't done with this bullshit yet. And after that, I will never be done because I'm going to be on blood thinners for the rest of my life. Unless I can keep eating this way and naturally get the heart back to where it's supposed to be, and I'm going to be able to get rid of the pharmaceutical garbage. That's my goal.
Are they putting you on Entresto?
I don't think that's one of the names.
Is this flat health debate?
Heart health.
Flat
With
health
heart.
debate, yeah.
I think this is just Celine Dion lyrics, isn't it? I'm going to do all that I can. We're heading for something, somewhere I've never been. Sometimes I am fried in butter, but I'm ready to learn of the power of love.
I thought that was Huey Lewis, The Power of Love.
Celine Dion.
Also Seleninian.
Yeah, she sucks.
What, eggs?
Yeah, that's what I heard.
Celine Dion. She sucks. All the music you hear today just sucks. It's all garbage. It has been for years. It's almost no such thing as music anymore. You have to know where to go.
Oh, Rick Beato did a video on it. He said, you got to be a child of a billionaire, and then you'll be a star today.
I used to watch him. I haven't seen his stuff lately.
What a load of bollocks.
He just, listen, he just interviewed a big, I forgot who he interviewed, but he was a big guy he's going for. But he's been trying to get one of the surviving Beatles, Paul or Ringo, but he just can't seem to get him, which sucks. You know, because he really is a big Beatles guy. And,
yeah, they suck out loud.
But he interviews everybody, man. That guy, you find out some real serious. Oh, that's who he interviewed. That's what I was going to say. The Geddy Lee interview and the girl that took over for freaking Neil Peart.
Or Neil Peart?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not impressed.
Yeah, she's good, man. Come on. Are you kidding me?
She's good, but I'm not impressed. I'm sorry. Here's what happens, right?
He's not going to be Neil Peart. Come on.
Here's what happens. It doesn't matter. So the first guy that played with Rush, he left. I forget why. I got his one of his videos, Working Man, when he played back with them. And then Neil Peart entered, and the whole band changed. It was kind of revolving around Neil Peart with his drums and his lyrics and the way the music was being written. So there's no way you can replace Neil Peart. It's not going to happen.
Okay.
I'm never going to be impressed.
Hop. I hear what you're saying, Hop. Go listen to the interview with Geddy Lee, the guitar player with Rick Beato. Now, I thought the same thing. He sent them, yes, he was the driving force behind writing all the music, but they would freaking do things too. The guitarist, I always forget his name. My son gets mad at me because I forget the guitar player's name.
Alex Lifeson.
Yeah, right.
Lifeson.
But he did like a reverse. He was tired of all the freaking shredding guitars, so he did like a reverse type freaking guitar solo where it was just freaking high end chords. Forgot the name of the song that it was on. Oh shoot! But it was good. You got just listen to the interview. They're getting some deep shit of how freaking they recorded songs. But I found it funny that when he bought his first amp, because they're from Canada, they had no freaking idea how they were going to get it home once they bought it, because now they're freaking miles away and there's freaking ice and snow all over the ground. So they had to freaking take it by train, then bus, and then slide it the rest of the way on the ice.
Do you want to dispel this myth, this bullshit myth that you've got to be a millionaire to make it, right? You know who Ed Sheeran is?
Yeah, that's the only one.
I mean, the only one.
Yeah.
No.
There's going to be a few that get through, Nathan. That's not the point.
The talented ones that can make music really well and that work really hard. Those ones.
No, Nathan, it's not like it was. That's all he's saying. Now you're finding the Taylor Swifts, the freaking Olivia Rodrigos, and all of these other.
No, I get it. He's saying there's a lot of
kitchen
nepo.
millionaires.
I got it. There's a lot of nepo babies in the music and arts. There always was. That doesn't mean that the people who are the underdogs that are talented don't come through. That's just not true.
It's not saying that. It's saying what used to be. They were all working class guys trying to freaking make it. Who was the only freaking posh group? What was it? Pink Floyd? Freaking Roger Waters maybe was a little posh.
I just don't agree with the
It was
sentiment.
guys trying to get out of poverty. You know, all he's saying is you don't have that no more because you need big freaking money.
Got that. I just don't agree that it's only a nepo baby route into the music arts. I just don't agree.
I did not say only.
I mean, look at Sean Ryder.
You guys like you like Red Hot Chili Peppers, man?
Okay, Hop, help me out here, Hop. Back in the day when the musicians were breaking through, Hop, what were they? They were freaking hard-working, blue-collar freaking guys.
You like Red Hot Chili Peppers?
Of course, please.
Okay, you know how they came about?
No, I don't.
Okay, Anthony's parents are freaking actors. They're all in the business before he was.
Oh yeah,
all these guys that come into music, their parents or somebody has already been in the business. It's a pick and choose family thing. Seriously.
Well, you know, he's in that movie. He's in Point Break, right?
Frank Zappa's daughter's Nora Jones.
Listen, the lead singer from the Chili Peppers is in Point Break.
Yeah, what you're saying is it's not who you know. It's not what you know, it's who you know. Right?
Who you know.
Yeah,
that's
so
always been the case, though.
If you've got a family that's connected to the arts, there's a good chance that they'll show you a door that would otherwise be hidden if you didn't know those people or weren't related to them directly, but like parents. Well, yeah, of course that makes sense. You're going to get an easier route into the arts if your parents are already there. That makes sense. You're born into them. But that's not to say that people, if you go back 1 or 2 generations, were always in the arts. So you look at those particular people, you're going to tell me Frank Zappa's parents were in the arts already? No. So he would have made it into that particular arena, not because of nepotism, but because he's worked hard and is talented, therefore has a talented daughter who finds it even easier to work her way into the arts. Even then, that's not true, because they're pretty much estranged as far as I'm aware in terms of Nora Jones and her route into it. She just happened to be related to somebody famous who didn't necessarily have any contact with her. So even when you are potentially claimable as a nepo baby, you're not. If you're just talented, you're just talented. Ed Sheeran's the perfect example. I wouldn't go as far as to say he was poor, but as far as I can remember, it's been a long time I've watched this on a shorts video or whatever, he's just from a roughly normal family. You know, I think his dad was a university teacher or something like that. You know, that's not to say he was wealthy, but certainly lower or middle class, you know, just normal. And then he's left school and gone and busked on railways on the underground in London that he's moved to try and be successful. So he's dedicated his life at that early age, before being famous, to being in the place that's going to get him seen. And then he's just purely on a wing and a prayer got where he is through talent. And having somebody at some point go, oh, by the way, I can show you this door, but only because he's put himself in the right place.
Well, Frank Zappa, his dad was in chemical biological warfare. So that's
not exactly the
dad
music industry then.
No, he wasn't in the music industry.
Right.
But he was a top dog in chemical biological warfare.
And does that make you a millionaire? Chemical warfare?
No, they had, I don't know how that worked, but here's the thing, right? So Jim Morrison, his dad was an admiral in the Navy and had something to do with, what was it?
Was he one of those riders on the storm?
In Vietnam, right?
Good one, Nathan.
What did he say?
He said, what was he, one of those riders on the storm?
Yeah.
He was just he was just very strange.
Well, people are strange.
Well, his dad was an admiral, and he had something to do with how we got into Vietnam. There was a boat, I forget the name. It wasn't the Lusitania. It wasn't World War II, I don't think.
Was it Light My Fire? Light My Fire, was it? Something like that?
And that was Jim Morrison, yeah. And I don't know how many others of these people that their parents recently,
not all of them.
right? Lincoln Park.
I get where we're going.
Lincoln Park.
Not all kids get shown the back door, man.
Right, and Steve just reminded me about Laurel Canyon, right? So Frank Zappa controlled the music at the time when he was in the Laurel Canyon. He controlled who was coming in and going through and making it.
Some people just break on through to the other side anyway.
All Rick Beato was saying was all Rick was saying was, you're not seeing it like you used to see it. And it's going to get harder and harder unless you got money.
I don't know. You need to come to Manchester. I mean, over the year, you got the Smiths, the Stone Roses, Happy Mondays, the Charlatans, North Side. You know, even now you've got like the Cortinas. You've got other Manchester bands.
Oh yeah, they're really
Hollies,
famous.
The Hollies. Yeah, the Hollies were Manchester. These are all just normal people off the street. A lot of them are into heroin as
you know
well.
how old the Hollies are?
116 years old.
Okay, so that's what I'm saying. They're freaking regular guys. You're not going to see that many more regular guys, working class guys breaking through unless somebody supports them and backs them with finances. But you're going to see more of the Taylor Swifts that are freaking fourth-generation bankers.
That's because these people are famous because somebody wants them to be famous.
Right.
Now, he did not take away, I heard what you said, Click. He did not take away from their talent. He's not saying, I'm not saying they're not talented. But I am saying that it's getting harder and harder for the old way when the guys like the Beatles, I use the Beatles as a reference, working class guys from Liverpool.
Doesn't mean you're not going to be famous. Just because you're some unknown soldier doesn't mean you're not going to be famous.
It will unless somebody lights my fire.
In the early days of YouTube, you could become quite famous quickly, but it's not the same anymore.
Exactly. Thank you, Click.
Who's that guy? The recent guy who wrote the Earth is a Big Roast Chicken. I mean, that was quite recent. He was quite famous, wasn't he?
Yeah, exactly. You wrote that without breaking a sweat.
That's another one. You guys cheated. You didn't write shit.
I wrote it.
Hey, so I just posted a guy who.
Now that's that's another conversation.
They were Nathan's words.
Hold on, you non-musician pricks. That's another conversation, Hop. You got people freaking coming out with music that don't play a freaking note.
I know. Like, who's that little kid, that little black kid that you promoted that one day? I said
Michael
he can't
Jackson.
even play the guitar.
Michael Jackson.
Can't even play the guitar. Little something or other.
Michael Jackson.
No, Michael Jackson had talent.
What was it?
Michael Jackson.
Oh, Michael Jackson was extremely talented.
But even now, like now things have moved on. In England now, the UK, around Manchester, there's a lot of, it's called grime. Like it's not rap, it's not hip hop. It's like a UK grime. And these are just people from Hume, Moss Side, Salford, rough areas in Manchester. And H is one of them's called AITCH, I think. He's from Manchester.
You're picking out a group here and there. Some are going to break through, but they're getting. I'm sure somebody's backing them with money. Look, even the Beatles, they got backed by freaking Brian Epstein. He backed them with his money.
The Beatles weren't that famous, though, was they? Really?
Not as famous as Jesus.
That's a good one, Nathan. That I got to give you credit for that one.
Harry Potter's more famous nowadays.
I mean, I like a bit of Frank Sinatra. But, you know what I mean? I can listen to Happy Mondays, house music, and I can also sit down and listen to a bit of I've Got You Under My Skin.
Now, I want you to watch that because they talk about how back then they had no fucking clicker. Ringo was the timekeeper, not no auto click.
Yeah, they sucked.
I'm surprised
I recently posted one of their first concerts.
The Beatles suck.
Beatles suck. Yeah, I recently posted one of their.
Neil, you need to go out busking, mate. You get.
Wow, man.
That doesn't mean that everything you listen to, Hop, comes from the backbone of them. Just remember that. That's like saying.
It doesn't.
Flat, hold on. Flat Earth takes off, and there's flat earthers everywhere. I mean, new guys coming in left and right, and you say Nathan Oakley sucks.
Well, it depends on what day it is. But Beatles sucked all the every day. But when I posted one of their oldest concerts when they first hit the scene, and I was listening to it, just going, "Oh my God, this is so bad!"
Get the fuck out of here! I got all
understand.
freaking recordings of them from freaking Germany cleaned up. You're talking about on a freaking cassette recorder? You're out of your mind.
I'm talking
Hop.
about
Let's
a
not get into
concert.
this.
Oh,
they were the
about a
freaking best
concert.
live band. You know who sucks? Led Zeppelin sucks. Go listen to them
Yeah, they
fucking
suck
live.
too. Yeah, they suck too live. Yep, you're right. You're right. Beatles suck. Led Zeppelin
The Beatles
sucks.
couldn't even
Pretty
hear
much-
themselves.
Pretty much all them bands back in the day, they all sucked live. They were all studio bands. Period.
No, they weren't.
That's
You're
a
out
fact.
of your mind. You just
Okay, I'm out of my mind.
Listen, you just took a knock on your music knowledge. I ain't even talking to you no more. The Animals didn't suck. The Stones sucked. Yeah, I'll give you that. But freaking the Beatles did not suck. The Animals did not suck. Freaking who else
They all
was from
suck.
England at that time that came through in a British invasion? The freaking Birds
Bobby
did not
Duck.
suck. Eric Clapton did not suck. The Yardbirds did not suck.
The Yardbirds, that was Jimmy Page.
Yeah.
Oh, Led Zeppelin sucked.
I don't know what happened when he went to Zeppelin.
Oh.
For some
Yeah, they
reason,
suck.
live. Look at
Eric Clapton, slow hand.
hold
Yeah, he
on.
sucked.
Look at the Live Aid. Look at the Live Aid concert. Right? They were fucking horrible.
There you go. Now, I posted this video of Matteo Mancuso. Right?
Genesis did not suck. Pink Floyd did
That's
not
somebody
suck.
who doesn't. Pink Floyd sucked. Are you kidding me?
Neil Young was on there as well. I like a
Okay,
bit of Neil Young.
Hop, then you tell me who's good live.
Harp's not into
I
music.
just showed
don't
you.
think.
I just showed you one. He's a recent guy. Just put one in the chat.
Driving, you're gonna have to tell me.
Karen Carpenter. That's all I got to say.
Aaron Carpenter's nasty on the drums.
Aaron Carpenter was pretty good.
Carpenters are great.
Her voice is
I
perfect.
don't know why she did what she did, but she was a really good musician.
He was freaking phenomenal on the sticks.
Yeah, very weird. Yeah, it was very weird. But there you go. With like a one. That's a girl too. It's like a one-shot thing. So most of the musicians back then sucked.
This conversation
So the
could go
guys
on
who-
for an eternity. It feels like we've only just begun, to be honest.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. Because because when you get to the people who didn't suck, it was hard to find them. Like Edgar Winter.
Oh yeah, they were great. Can't say nothing about that.
Yeah, they were on top of the world, weren't they?
Blacko
Well, they were
Arkansas.
created. Frankenstein.
Yeah, Frankenstein. Yeah, he did a lot of good stuff.
He was a
Blacko
monster, him.
Arkansas.
All right,
Blacko
what about Emerson,
Arkansas
Lake and Palmer?
They were okay. They were different.
There you go. ELP was off.
I used to like them. I haven't listened to them recently. I liked Rush.
But you're a lucky man.
They were good.
Rush is. Nathan's pulling the
1978
songs
is when I
out
started
of the
listening
freaking
to
closet
Rush.
now.
They were good.
Rush played a little bit too quickly for my liking.
I like that fusion style more rock, man. Let's go.
Do you know that?
I
Do
love
you
the
know
way
that
put the
they
music.
said that freaking Tom Sawyer was the hardest thing that drove Neil Peart crazy. I've heard some other songs, and I'm like, are they really saying what I think they're saying? But
You can't like Rush. You're a
Tom
working
Sawyer,
man.
the drum part in Tom Sawyer drove him crazy.
Because of the timing.
Yeah, it must be.
You're going to need a flat earth for that, mate.
A lot of times, like when you hear John Bonham do, like when the levee breaks, like that intro and stuff, certain intros, you go, yeah, but then sit down and try it, motherfucker. Let's see. And people go,
See, I
shit.
gotta take that back. When John Bonham was, there's a lot of good stuff, but he's always good live. But I don't understand what was happening with Jimmy Page and a lot of that live shit. Like, at least it's got to sound something like the song. I know live you go into other things, but I've heard freaking renditions of Stairway to Heaven where the lead, you can't even tell me. If you just listen to the lead, you know it's Stairway to Heaven.
Yeah, but just go back to the levee breaks. If you listen to that levee breaks with Neil Young, the guitar, with them two, amazing live with Neil Young and him doing levee breaks. It goes on for about 15 minutes.
Yeah, I'm not into Neil. I was into Neil Young, but he's too freaking politically correct for me.
I've got a whole lot of love for all of these songs, I've got to be honest.
But you've always had a heart of gold, Nathan.
You do ramble on.
But you are getting old.
I don't want to give you no quarter.
Buddy Rich was one of the best drummers that ever hit
He's
the
not
ground.
rock and roll. He was the best drummer ever.
He was the foundation for pretty much every single drummer.
Yep.
That man was like incredible. And now they're doing lots of more incredible things, but Buddy Rich, he started the one-hand rolls and all the shit. He did it. Yeah, he was
phenomenal.
Freaking amazing. And also, they strapped his ass down and turned the whole stage upside down. Did you see that solo?
No.
Where he revolves? Oh, I'll grab it for you.
They strapped him in and turned him upside down.
Yep. While he was playing.
Well, the gravity of that had to be hard.
It's not easy.
How many
what?
Upside down. So what did they do to him? Wait, they turned him north side south?
I was trying to think of a reference to inertial reference frames for some reason.
They turned Buddy Rich north side south.
North side south. Yep. They know the best
This is
music does
not a
come
real
from
good
Manchester.
recording. There you go. Head text. $1975. Now, when I didn't know he had done this in 1975. One of the things I wanted to do as a drummer when I made it, which I never did, was exactly this. Get strapped in and play upside down. That's what I wanted to do. That was one of the gimmicks I had.
I've always wanted to do that.
And I found out, yeah, well, it still works, but he already did it. So it's not original.
Why would you want to do that?
I invented the double neck.
Maybe it'll cause a chain
the
reaction.
double neck guitar.
All right. They want to play upside down. It's the same reason why Jimmy started playing with his teeth and behind his back. Because it makes you superior. That's a guitar fart sniffer and a drumming fart sniffer. I'm the man. I play upside down. Now you go and try it. Then come to me when you can play upside down. My favorite drummer was Stuart Copeland, and it always will be. I just liked his sound.
And there's drummers out there now that just rule.
Yeah, they annihilate him.
Thomas Lang is one of them. Thomas Lang is so good, it's hard to comprehend.
Do you see that guy? Do you see that guy on YouTube? He's called the Groove Father.
Yeah, I know.
Yo, Is he a robot or what?
I saw that. I was driven to tears.
Dude with the beard? You talking about the foreign dude with the beard who just does one-handed rolls and plays everybody's songs with one hand?
The guy's got to be some sort
He's
of
a real
robot.
guy. He's a real guy. That's what I'm saying.
I heard he got an
That's where
audition.
Buddy
Hold on.
Rich.
I heard he had an audition. Yeah, he did something on Buddy Rich. He was blown away with Buddy Rich. But he was supposed to have auditioned for freaking. He was supposed to have auditioned for a couple of different bands. I think the Foo Fighters. But see, my thing is, could he play with a band?
He's
He plays all those songs. Of course, he plays all those songs one-handed. He does rolls around the entire kit with just one hand. And he's literally rolling. Like it's not two hands, it sounds like two hands.
Did you see him play with 4 sticks? He's got one stick sideways on a hi-hat.
Yeah. What, sorry?
I invented that. In 1978, sorry.
4 sticks.
And
He's got one on a hi-hat going across.
I got that from the
where
Led
he's
Zeppelin.
lifting the middle of it and he's tapping on both sides.
Song.
He was playing with 4 sticks.
There's a Led Zeppelin song called 4 Sticks on Led Zeppelin 4. When I heard that song and saw those words, I thought, I got 4 sticks and started playing with 4 sticks. That was 1978.
How were you playing with them?
I've never played with 4 sticks before.
Because the guy had one across the hi-hat and one underneath the stick that's on a hi-hat and was maneuvering that so it's tapping it on both sides. While he's doing that, he's doing something else with the other freaking stick in his right hand. And then he's got the other freaking stick between his freaking pinkies. I mean, well, how the frick do you do that?
I don't know. I've only ever played with 1 stick.
I did that in 1978. Not as cool as he did.
Was he hitting 4 skins with the 4 sticks?
I've been hitting a lot more than 4 skins.
Yeah, you can
In my life, I hit way more than 4 skins. And I'm not proud of it.
I saw Sticks when I was a teenager live in concert. They were pretty good. It was kind of a grand. It was kind of
a great voice.
Grand illusion.
Hey, 1978, Van Halen came out. Van Halen was an awesome band until they got Sammy
Van
Hagar.
Halen. You can't mess with Van Halen. The brothers were amazing.
There was a band called
Van
Nitro
Morrison?
in '89. When the Headbangers came out, all the Headbangers, there was a band called Nitro. The guitar player at the time was the best guitar player on earth. His name is Michelangelo Badio. He is so amazing. He was so fast and so incredible. He was playing a 4-neck, 4 necks on his guitar. It was on
How come I never heard of
He
him?
could just spin it around. You know what I'm talking about?
Badio is just a gimmick, bro.
Yeah, he wasn't really doing it.
I don't know.
Yeah, really doing it.
Ambidextrous. He can play a double neck guitar, so you can use your left hand and your right hand. If you play piano, it's not too far off using 2 necks on a guitar.
Yeah, that's no big deal. That's for sure.
You know, tonality is what makes a guitarist, not speed.
Exactly. Well said. That's why Andy Summers is one of the great guitar players. He doesn't have great speed.
I think Neil Young's a good guitar player, and David Gilmour.
What is it with you and Neil Young?
I like Neil Young, mate. He's great on the acoustic. You feel the vibe coming through off him, and he's doing the drum. He's hitting his wrist on the acoustic for the drums, and he's actually hitting the strings, and you're getting a drum and a guitar at the same time.
Pretty good for what it's worth.
I just posted Michelangelo Badio, right? Here's the band Nitro. The song Freight Train that they used to play on MTV. This was 1990, I believe. The best rendition you're going to get. It's hard to find. Plays 4 necks. Do you understand? He's not faking. He's not playing it. He's playing it. This was 1990.
Necks don't mean shit, though.
It doesn't. means nothing. How many guys have you seen do this? Besides
Just
him?
move, just move your
Sorry,
hands down.
has he got 4 arms then?
Oh my
Yeah, if he was
God, you're
playing
not.
with forearms,
I know
if he was
neither
playing
one of
that
you are fucking
four-neck
guitar players,
with his
obviously.
feet, I'd give him credit.
Listen, it doesn't matter what you see of the 4 necks and looking at him. You close your eyes. How does it sound? Is what music's about.
All you got to
It's
do
all
is
about listening.
click the video.
It's all about listening.
And you'll find
it's all about
out.
listening to music. I've got to bloody finish if I get
I
a chance.
understand you're
It's all
not
about
guitar
listening.
players. I
Hello?
understand you're not guitar
Hello?
players.
Hello? Yeah, I'm just saying.
Hello,
music
I don't
is for
need to
listening
listen to your crap. You're non-musician.
It's
You
all
don't know
about-
what you're saying.
It's I can play. Hey, excuse me, mate.
Pop, you don't have to
ever
be a
heard of the-
musician to know what good music is. He's saying,
Have you
close
never
your eyes.
heard of,
How does it sound?
How does it sound? It's listening. Music is for listening to, not watching. You watch the TV. You don't
Click
watch
the
music.
video. It's in the Fed text.
Get it right.
Anybody ever heard of a band called Cheap Trick?
Yes.
Of course.
He had 5 necks.
5.
On one side. On one side.
How did it sound?
On one side.
Oh, wait a second. You're saying 4 necks, there's 2 on the other side?
Jesus, I posted the freaking video in Fed text.
I'm driving, Hop. You and your videos.
Oh, you're driving.
That's
Well, then how are
that's
you
not
having a
even
conversation
guitar.
where I'm showing you this
You're not
shit
even-
if you're driving?
You're not even talking about a guitar. Guitar has
What?
one neck. A guitar has one neck.
I mean, by
So
this
it's designed.
standard, the guy on the street corner that's got those strings attached to a drum on his back that plays the harmonica and guitar at the same, he's the most talented guy on earth.
Here.
I'll tell you what, there's a couple of them that I've seen lately, and they're freaking awesome.
Ed Sheeran was
Because
pretty
they're-
good. Ed Sheeran
they're
was
like-
pretty good.
Yeah, but he's a nepo baby, just forced into the arena from wealth.
How many necks has Ed played with, do you reckon?
17.
I reckon he could do 20, Ed.
20
Look at-
heads.
Sorry,
Talking
that's
from me.
Outrageous. It's
What's your
crazy
excuse for
speak.
not looking in the chat?
Sorry if I
What's your
sounded a
excuse
bit
for not
rude
looking
there,
in the
yeah.
chat and clicking the
Yeah,
video
yeah.
instead of blah, 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 blah,
All
blah.
right.
It's not that. It's what comes out. Click the fucking video. And then tell me about
No,
it.
we all most of my life. His tuition DVD is called Speed Kills. I've watched it more times than you probably could even imagine. I know who Michelangelo Battio is.
Michelangelo
And music
Battio.
is for listening. Music is for listening to, not watching.
Speed Kills is a solo.
So he doesn't have a DVD called that then?
Well, you're on your own now, mate.
Oh my fucking God, dude.
That's right.
Nitro. He was in a band called Nitro. I posted the freaking video.
What does it sound like?
Oh, click the video.
Hair metal band.
Just play it.
I got done explaining. It's an old video. It's 1990. It's hard to find any kind of thing that, but the quality of the sound
Would
is.
you like me to
yeah.
post a link to the Speed Kills tuition DVD by Michelangelo Battio?
Have you ever heard of
really need
a guy
that.
called Gerald?
You don't know about the DVD, huh?
Every
I
note
don't
of
really
felony.
need that. I said.
Oh, so why are you making out like you know more?
I
Yeah, stop messing
said
things up.
I don't really need that.
You said he
How
was
many
the
times
best
do I need to do it
guitarist in
again?
the world.
Dude, I've been
That was just
listening
his
to this
opinion, I
dude
think.
since 1990, literally.
Listen,
He's also in a
That's
movie.
your opinion, buddy, but it's not.
You don't understand.
He's also
if
in a
Bob says
movie.
he's no good, he's no good.
But we're a
What
long
Hawk
way from
says
home for
goes.
this discussion.
Play the guitar. I know it's good.
Would you class him as a guitarist or a fret wanker? Yeah, I'm a guitarist. Michelangelo, in my opinion, is a fret wanker. It's just noodling as fast as possible. I don't really class that as guitar.
You call
Obviously,
it
he is
noodling.
Well,
playing
you're
a
an idiot.
We used to
You're
call
a
it
musical
wiggling.
freaking retard, then.
One now, bro.
Hold on, just a
I don't know. I
word.
heard some of
Just one
Len's
sec, guys.
stuff. Len can play, man.
One sec. Did I hear you say,
Yeah.
you say noodling? Is that a northern term?
Fret wanking on noodling.
Yeah,
Fret
noodling
wanking
is
I've
the
heard,
next
but
question on the guitar.
other than fret wanking, I called it, or we used to call it in drama school, whittling. So, he's another whittler, a guy that can't stop going up and down the fretboard, fret wanking, like you call it. But noodling, that's a new one on me. Whittling is what I would call that. That's what we called it. You're another
Hold on.
whittler.
Don't listen. Don't freaking shit on people that can move up and down in the neck.
Where, whittling?
Because that's what it's all about.
Whittling.
The ones that just sit there in the same freaking thing. Yeah, well, you try going up and down in the neck.
There's very few people that can do that effectively. Van Halen, I would give it to you, right? You listen to, is it Beat It, where he plays on Michael Jackson's song, and it's outstanding whittling, fret wanking, basically. But it sounds glorious because it fits beautifully with the song. It's perfect, right? Now, when you can do that, it's amazing. But as far as I'm concerned, unless you are 1,000% tight with it, normally it just goes out of sync, it's slightly out of time. Often the pitch is off a little bit in one of the whittles, and to me it always sounds a mess unless you're extremely skilled at it, and very few people are, frankly.
That's correct. Well,
come on, Angus Young is. Come on, you got to admit that one.
Angus Young is a coke freak. Are you kidding me? I've seen one of his videos where his solo, he starts running out on the stage, and he's just
a working class. He's just a working class guy.
I wouldn't necessarily call him a whittler. He's not. I guess he does guitar solos, but he's just he fits with the music that he's performing with. So there's nothing wrong with Angus Young's guitaring. Exactly. I wouldn't call him a wanker. I'd call his outfits.
Yeah, that's all he does. He
stupid
he
outfits.
Fits with the music they play. Yeah.
Dresses like a school.
Maybe a waggler. Maybe a waggler. Or a wanker.
It's his appearance that drives me at the wall. You're like, why are you dressed like that and still doing it?
Well, yeah. If you go back and listen to the greats, when Jimi Hendrix came on the scene, he blew them all away, right? And he was the innovator. He started it all, right? With the feedback and the amplifier. He started all of that shit. Now, he was kind of sloppy too, but he was great.
Use the Echoplex tape delay.
I don't know.
Him and Jimmy.
I think Pink Floyd were a bit. I think Pink Floyd were a bit more than that, weren't they? They started On the Run and all that feedback stuff and Ummagumma album.
What they did was they used the Echoplex.
Right. But he was the one. Listen, he had Eric Clapton. Now I heard nobody mention Jeff Beck, and he's a master. Mm-hmm. Even the greats refer to Jeff Beck. Which I really never knew. He pulled the freaking Bon Jovi said he realized how good Jeff Beck was when he pulled the freaking guitar delivered to his house out of a box, tuned it up, and couldn't believe the sound he was getting.
Can we just conclude this discussion, right?
Is it cardboard box?
Just one sec. Regardless of if you're a Nepo baby or just poor and talented, can we all agree that it's a long way to the top?
How would you be measuring the distance to the top, mate?
Oh, you're going to need a flat earth for that, right? You're going to have something to reference it from.
Remember Jason Becker?
Was that just a shot in the dark?
No.
Testing. Are you just ignoring everything I say?
Knopfler was great on the guitar, wasn't he?
Yeah, obviously you are.
Not that we're ignoring you, it's just your replies seem a bit thunderstruck.
Huh. Yeah, but, Dire Straits, they were pretty good on guitar. Mark Knopfler.
Testing.
No, I think you're on, mate.
Yeah, we can hear you.
I think
you're
we've lost
ignoring everything I say. But when I tell you to go listen to the video instead of talking about speed kills, then I talk about Jason Becker. Anybody know who Jason Becker is?
Have you never heard of the Streets, original pirate material?
That blonde-haired tennis player, isn't he?
Answer a question with a question. This dude is a fucking retard, and I'm done talking to him.
Uh-oh, Hop's got his balls twisted.
The Streets were one of the best groups in the early 80s.
Go grab your guitar, bro, and let's hear some fucking licks. Go grab your fucking guitar and let's hear some licks. Hey,
I've only got a ukulele, mate. I've only got a ukulele.
Len, go plug in, Len. Start shredding, Len.
I'm leaning on the lamppost at the corner of the street in case a certain little lady comes by.
Are you sure you're not a global?
Still working at the moment, right?
Hey, I'll go home. I'll plug in my son's bass and I'll start shredding.
Please don't.
Go ahead. Let's hear it.
No, let's not.
Nathan, do not underestimate my bass playing and vocals while playing the bass. You will be surprised.
Can you play one note in time?
Can't wait to hear it.
Wanking your neck.
Can you play Over the Hills and Far Away?
How do you know when a bass player's levels are correct? The drool comes out. The drool comes out of both sides of his mouth at the same time.
You understand that playing a bass, right, shows you how devastating low frequency can be, that it could literally cause earthquakes?
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, my God.
Here we go.
See what I did there?
How so, Hop?
Seriously, have you ever stood in front of a bass amp? You play the bass, right?
I heard Jin claim he was in a 7.6 earthquake yesterday.
I heard that. I heard that too. That was what?
7.6.
Oh, that was on QE's
message?
retarded show over there. Yeah. Yeah, he said it was a tsunami or something, or a tsunami warning. It was in the water.
What do you call somebody who hangs around with musicians? Bass player.
Oh, you
that's
dirty
good.
dog, you.
That's fucking A, man, dude.
Dirty dog. Dirty, rotten English bastard, you.
What do you call a beautiful woman on a bassist's arm?
A beautiful woman on a bass guitar.
The bassist's arm. Bassist's arm. Tattoo.
What?
A bassist arm.
Hanging on a bassist's arm. What do you call her?
What do you call a beautiful woman on a bassist's arm?
Tattoo, right?
It's
Okay.
not a real woman. It's a tattoo, not a real woman.
Yeah.
Neil, why haven't you made a tune-up on this bass with globe-related lyrics?
No time.
Come on.
God,
You must.
time.
I could put a little something together. I mean, if Len would give me something to bounce off or hop, I could put something together.
Told you. What do you call someone who hangs around musicians?
Well, I just need. I need a rhythm. I mean, I could do it on a bass. I've written songs on a bass before.
Why don't we just do this? And why don't we do it now live? Record it. I'll put some lyrics in there. Nathan we can all throw a bit of lyrics in and do a bit of this and that, and we'll record it live.
What Neil driving the car playing the bass at the same time? It's going to be something.
What do you call a bass player that knows 2 chords?
A genius.
A professional.
Yeah.
Well, you got Manny out the Stone Roses. He was a good bass player. I don't need to sell my soul. He's already in me.
So what I am is a guitar playing drummer. So when I played drums with the band, the bass player was very important to me. This is why I was constantly looking for a good bass player and reliable.
Well, the drummer and the bass,
importantly-
they hold the beat, except if you're in Zeppelin.
Yes, we hold the
Zeppelin,
beat.
he's the bottoms to wood page, right?
Yeah, and so, and when Murr played his guitar, it was just spectacular.
I mean, I'm pretty good on the tambourines and the maracas, to tell you the truth.
Who was? You?
Yeah, I'm good
I
on the
just posted my
tambourines
old
and the
kit.
maracas.
I just posted my old kit. That's my second son sitting on the chair. He was like not even a year old.
You fly for that, mate.
Need a flat stage. That drum kit was so big, and it took up, like in a room, it would take up the whole entire corner of any room. If the room was too small, it took up the whole room, basically. It was huge.
I've only ever played
22
the drums once. I didn't have a clue what I was doing. And it's a true story. I come out the Hacienda nightclub in Manchester off my head. And it used to be up until 2 o'clock back in the day. And then we got a taxi to it was called the Kitchen. And it was a big block of flats called the Bull Ring in Hume, really rough area in Manchester. And I ended up in there with a lot of strangers, not knowing what was going on. And I went into one of the rooms, like a back room, and there was a fucking drum kit in this room, like a bedroom with no bed. And this drum kit, I thought, fucking, I'm going to fucking have a go at this. And I just got on this fucking drum kit and started hitting drums and like making daft sounds and stuff like that. And that's what I did for a few hours until the early hours. And then I remember it got to the early hours and the sun was making an appearance. And I thought, where the hell am I? And how am I going to get home from this place? There you go. It's a banging night.
I'm glad we did this.
Yeah, it was like music to my ears this tonight. Why did they change the frequency though from the frequency they changed harp? Was it 432 hertz or something like that? What was that all about?
Yeah, it's hard to hear the difference, but it does something to like it's just like when they mess with the earth, right? They throw off the Schumann resonance, which is, we resonate from that. When they change it, we resonate different. So I never knew the real 432. I've always played the 440. I enjoy
that might be your
440
problem.
because I always have. You know what I'm saying? So that's all I know. There's my Katie right there. I posted Katie.
What's he called? The Flat Earth Music Guru. He's got an album out. He's done a few of these.
What a fucking retard.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying he's got an album out. He's got an album out, and he's tuned his guitar to 432 hertz.
Oh, that's nice.
I used to play a bit in 432, but it's a nightmare trying to jam along with anyone else.
Was you all on your own? Or all by yourself?
So, Harp, have you released or published anything, being the musical guru you are claiming to be?
No, I never published anything.
The conspiracy mystic guru has.
Oh, I know. What does that mean?
He's better than you.
Does that mean he's better than me?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
I think he just made it on his own, didn't he? All by himself.
He self-promoted through Flat Earth.
Well, there you go.
Yeah, I didn't ride those coattails. I didn't want to be associated with those people. So, no. Driving the truck back up to my door might not always work. Depends on the day. If I'm really frustrated and I don't give a shit, I'll take the money and fuck you. But on a day where I'm thinking, I've turned down a lot of stuff in my life where I could have had it easy. I turned down this particular girl back when I was 25. 24. I've done a lot of things in my life, but then I realized you don't really want to do this for money, okay? Because then you have to do it. Once you commit, that's it. And now you're going to become something you don't want to be. Didn't do that. It's like I never made it in the music business because one reason was because finding players. It was really hard to find players of our caliber.
That sounds like a cop out.
Yeah, do you play violin as well? Really
that's
small
great.
ones.
You can blah, blah, blah. Why don't you troll me now? You going to troll me now? Okay, so it was hard finding players of our caliber. Me and my guitar player, we were fucking amazing. I'm not trying to boast.
But come on, stop this. Hop, I got to stop you right there.
I'm not trying to boast, but we were amazing.
Boasting. You're going to tell me you and your guitar player were that great, you couldn't get a bass player and a drummer. Bullshit. You get them and you make them as good as you.
I was the drummer. He was the guitar player. Murray, my best friend.
I understand that. You make the bass player and you make the freaking...
Oh, let me finish the story. It's amazing.
Okay, go
ahead.
ahead.
A bunch of fucking globe trolls.
Important stuff. Go ahead.
We when I sat down behind my drum kit, he picked up his guitar. We didn't have to write anything. We just started playing, and that was the writing.
Naturals.
I realized, cocksucker. I realized this, and then I put a tape machine in the middle of the room. It actually worked well. It was weird. And so I recorded everything we did, and that's how we wrote. Then we found this bass player.
Put some in the chat.
Forget it.
Let him finish the story. You found the bass player because now it's coming into what interests me. Go ahead.
He's a fucking retard, and I'm done.
Oh, I was just
Come
getting to the good bit as well. Cool. Now that's on.
Now just getting to the good bit there.
Good bit.
Yo, if you'd shut the fuck up.
Chill out. It's not that big a deal.
I'm excited.
It is a big deal when I'm telling a story. Do you like to be interrupted by trolls, Nathan?
Not when I'm talking about me being great. I've got to be honest.
Well, this is music. And people every day of the week and every day of the year listen to music. What they don't do is listen to Flat Earth. They could care less about Flat Earth, but they love music. Now, you can go down the street. You can go down the street and ask anybody about music, and they know about it. And you ask them about Flat Earth, and maybe. Most of the time, it's no.
Fair enough.
So music is an everyday thing for everybody.
Too true.
That's how they control us. It's one of the ways they control us, through the music.
Indeed. With that, I'm going to say another huge, massive, enormous thank you to both Discord and G+ panels for making today's after show possible. And of course, a massive thank you to all of you for liking, commenting, sharing, subscribing, joining as a Nathan Oakley 1980 channel member, and all that good stuff. If you can afford to support me via Ko-Fi and PayPal, please do so. I've been Nathan Oakley, and I'll see you all in the next video.
But when you measure it flat, it contradicts that. I'm spitting flat facts and that. And I know you don't like that. Google Maps is flat, it presents elevation profiles like that. I'm a spitting flat earth king. Sentence has a ring, doing my own thing. If earth was a big roast chicken, factually finger licking chicken. We just got the measurements missing. I'm spitting eggs and begs, begging the question lesson. I've said it before, time after time. I'm the spitting flat earth king of rhyme.